Okay, hello everyone. Good afternoon and welcome back. We'll continue talking about a method, teaching method, and I would like you to differentiate between three words or three terms. So when we talk about a method, we have here an approach. When we talk about a method, we talk about an approach. Also, we talk about design. And also, you will find this in the handouts. So we have an approach and we have a design and we have the last one is procedure. I have already talked about this last session. So who can summarize for me the difference between a method, an approach, design, and procedure? Based on that, we'll go through a number of teaching methods. But first of all, we've got to understand the terminology. We have to know these terms first before proceeding. So who would like to remind me of what do we mean by an approach? We start here. Nisreen, can you hear me?
Yes, Professor.
Would you like to tell me first about an approach? How can you define it based on the chapter you have about the nature of teaching methods?
Can I have some time to open the chapter?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Nisreen. This is the chapter. Please have a look at it and let's discuss and share some ideas. Okay. The class will be successful by your interaction. I would like to hear from you and please interact with me. Admit all.
Could you tell us which handout?
Ikram.
No, it's Wafa.
Hi, Wafa. Yes, sure,
Hello.
Wafa. Wafa.
Yes.
This is the chapter. Let me see, Wafa, if I can share. Stay with me. I'm gonna share with you a slide, PowerPoint, and then you will find the chapter there. Let me see if you can see it. Let me share more. Anyway, Wafa,
Yes.
I'm not sure if you can see this.
Actually, I can't.
Okay. The nature of approaches and methods. This is chapter 2. Just look at the title. You will find the nature of approaches and methods.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So please have a look at this. This is so important before talking about any approach and method. We have got to have some basic knowledge regarding this. So, Wafa, can you see this?
Yes, I can.
Now, when we talk about an approach, Wafa, we talk about the theory of language. Wafa, can you repeat this?
Theory of language.
Of language. So would you like to share with me some theories? Maybe you can highlight 1, 2, 3. So remember, we are here at the level of an approach. We are here. Would you like to share with me some theories of language? So here we have language. Language means
Do we see
linguistic.
structuralist? Structuralist.
Okay, good. So I'm going to write it here.
Functional.
Functional. Okay, good.
Functional.
One
And
more.
mentalist.
Who is speaking?
Wafa.
Okay, Wafa. One more.
Mentalist.
That's different. Because that one is a learning theory. So first of all, we have to differentiate between a theory of language, okay, theory of language, and we must also talk about later on about learning theory. Okay, learning theory. Now, it should be only language, not, if you like, not the learning or educational theory, like behaviorism and so on. Anyway, let's have these two. Wafa, would you like to highlight the difference between the two?
I think structuralist, it focuses more on the structure.
Okay, good.
On it
Structure.
views language as a system of spoken habits, I think.
One by one. So structuralist from the word structure.
Yes.
What do you mean by structure?
The form of us.
The form. Okay, how
Yeah.
can you teach that? Because we will build on this theory to form a method. Okay, so we will base our knowledge of this theory so that you can have a method. So Wafa, when we say structure, you mean a form. How can you teach that? How can you apply it into teaching? Now let's say, Wafa, as a teacher, you're going to teach based on this theory of language, right? Let's say you go for this one. How can you apply this into your classroom? Please refer to the handouts or research. Yes, Wafa. Or everyone, anyone can try.
Have some time?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Shakir? Hello, Shakir Wafa. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Shakir. We are talking about some theories of language. And so some of you mentioned these two theories. Would you like to elaborate on one or two, or both of them? Few words about structuralist and functionalist. And remember, theories of language.
I said, can I have just some time? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir,
Yes, Nadia.
what was your question? Yes.
My question is about theories of language. Can you see my board? Can you see here?
Yes, I can.
So, first of all, we are talking about method. That's the main title, teaching method.
Yeah,
To talk about a method, we have to talk about three terms. Number one, an approach. Number two, design. And number three, procedure. First point is an approach. When we talk
Yes.
about an approach, we talk about theory of language. Some examples of theories of language, we can talk about these two. Structuralist or structural theory, functional theory. Also, we have interactional theory. Interactional. Okay, Wafa, can you hear me?
Yes.
Would you like to elaborate on these theories? Few words about each. Because when you teach, you will adopt one of these approaches.
Okay. I think for structuralist, it focuses more on the structure, which means it teach language as a system of signs or
Good.
symbols.
System. Okay.
Yeah.
So language is viewed as a system. So I can write it here. Please take notes. Language. What is a language according to this approach? So language, as you said, Shakir, language is viewed as a system. So language is viewed as a system. Right? Uh-huh. As a system of what? We can say of related elements. Related elements.
Such as morphemes, phonemes,
Yes,
words,
yeah.
and sentences.
Well done. Yes, good. So when I say a structure, I start with the phoneme. So I'm going to erase this. We could talk more focus on the structural view first. All right. So we can have this one. And then an example is structural theory of language. Nadia. Nadia, can you hear me? Imzilan. Can someone read this?
Sir, can I?
Yes, please.
Structural theory of language.
Who is speaking?
Wafa Shakir.
Okay, Wafa. We said that the structural theory of language is a system of elements. It's a system. So when we say a system, you said of elements. Can you mention those elements?
For example, morphemes.
And then we start like a structure. They are like related.
Yes.
So first of all, let's start by
Phoneme.
we say phoneme. And then
Also, morphemes.
Yeah, it's like a structure. So we start step by step. That's why when you are teaching a language, you start gradually. You build the language like a blocks of elements. So we will start by phoneme, and then we have morpheme. After that, so now we start with the sound system, and then the word is divided into morphemes, morphology,
the words,
and then the words, and then maybe you can have to talk about syntax or structure, grammatical structures. And then we can talk about phrase, clauses,
sentences.
and then we can talk about sentences, exactly. So when you teach a language with your students, you try to build the language by moving maybe from this point to another, and then another, then another, and then you move to this. So here is structure, elements. Okay, these were elements at the level of sound, words, sentences, structures, grammatical structures, and so on. All right, so this is
Structuralist.
structural theory of language. Now, okay, Wafa, thanks. Now, let's go back again to the method.
Sir, please, some are trying to join the meeting. Could you please accept them?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I try to admit everyone. Admit all. Thanks. Okay. Let me know, طيب, if everyone is in the meeting. Any issue, let me know.
Okay, when I receive a message, I will tell you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, طيب. Now, can you give me an example of the approach we have just talked about so far?
Functional.
Structuralist.
So far, good. So far, we have talked about this theory, which is structural theory of language. Now, to what extent this is related to the, so let's say this is a theory, right? Theory
Yes.
of language.
Yes.
Good. So to have a method, we do not base our teaching practices only on a theory, but we must add learning theory. So we must have language theory plus learning theory. Together, we combine them together, and then we can have a method. Okay, so let's give an example.
What's the difference between the two?
Sorry? The difference?
Behaviorist.
Question again, please.
The difference between the learning theory and the language theory.
Good question indeed. Thank you. Here, we are talking at the level of language. Linguistics. Remember our module about linguistics?
Yeah.
Here, when we say learning, in other words, educational theory. For example, we can talk about behaviorism. When you say behaviorism, you do not talk about language. You talk about psychology, if you like, or behaviors of students rather than the linguistic or language part. That's a learning theory. That's language theory. Together, when I combine a learning theory, with the language theory, together, combination of two will give birth to
method.
a method. Exactly. So in other words, method is a combination of language theory and learning theory. Now let's give an example of a method. Let's say audiolingual method. Audiolingual method. So this is a method. I'm talking at the level of a method. Would you like to give me two things? One, language theory. Two, learning theory. You have 1 minute. You can write on the chat your answer. Can you see? Can you see my question?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, let's check it. Good. So I would like you to write one word here and one word here. So here, language, theory, and here, learning theory. Is it clear?
Yes,
Good. Who is speaking?
it's Yasmin.
Ah, Yasmin. Good morning, Yasmin. Why you haven't joined me on time?
I was here.
All
I
right.
didn't start.
You're welcome, Yasmin. Yasmin,
Thank you.
can I ask you a
Yeah,
question?
of course.
All right. What is a method? Based on what I have just explained.
A method is a combination between a learning theory and a language theory.
All right.
Is
What
it?
about, good. What about audiolingual method?
Should I answer you?
Mhm.
The language theory is
No, I'm asking you about audiolingual.
audiolingual method.
Yeah, this is an
Is the
example.
one yes, is the method focusing on drills and repetition.
That's procedures. That's design.
Okay.
We are not talking so far about techniques, what you do as a teacher in the classroom, what activities
Mhm.
you do. We will talk about that later on. But for now, I would like you only to tell me, only the theories. Because in
Yeah, sure.
every method, you should have a theory.
Mm-hmm. The language theory is structuralist, and the learning theory is behaviorism.
Very good. So here we are talking about the level of language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Words, grammatical structures, prefixes, all about language, right? What about this one?
Learning theories. What is mental? What is I don't know.
Psychological.
Yeah. If we want to talk about theory, you can talk about two things. You can talk about the process.
Can you please accept Nadia because she asks me to?
Sure, yes. Good. Let me know, please, because I'm explaining. I cannot see people who joined us. Just let me know. Good. Yasmin.
Yes, professor.
Okay. So language, for example, structural theory, because we're talking about language, right?
Uh-huh.
What about this one? Learning theory. It is concerned with.
Procedures.
We will talk. Yes,
Ah.
we'll talk about procedures later. But stay with me. So here I have a method.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you can see this one. We have approach, design, procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one is about language in general. But what about theory? Theory of learning. One?
Behaviorism.
Huh?
The theory of learning is behaviorism in audiolingual.
No, I'm talking in general now. Now let's forget about this. I'm gonna remove this. In general, when we are talking about language theory, we are at the level of language. That is to say, everything that is related to language. It can be words, vocabulary, reading a text, phrases, writing, reading, everything related with language. Okay, now, what about learning theory?
What's psychological?
In other words, to make it simple for your friends,
Professor,
I wrote for you here this word. Can you read it?
Process.
Process. What is the process? Process of learning. For example, what's going on in your mind when you learn a language? Because learning is not about only the subject matter. Learning is not restricted to language or math or physics. It's also a process. Or if you like language, it's psycholinguistics, the psychological part, or the process in your mind, for example. Number two is conditions. What do you mean by conditions? Can you say this one?
Yes, conditions.
What do you think Yasmin about conditions? Can you guess?
Conditions. Readiness of each one.
Let's in general, Yasmin, now. Don't focus only on one method. In general, in classroom, when we teach something, we can teach English, that's language part. But also learning is more than subject matter. It includes the process, what's called the process of learning, and also the conditions. What are the conditions? To what extent they facilitate learning? This is a question for everyone. When I say conditions,
Professor, it refers to the environment that make learning either easier or harder.
Good.
For example, feedback of the professor.
Okay, good. So we can talk about feedback, but before feedback, before you give feedback, you have to provide a good, as you said, a good environment or good conditions for learning. So one of your roles as a teacher is not only to give knowledge, but also to provide an atmosphere, if you like, or a condition for learning. All right, that's learning theory. Like you remember last time we talked about an approach or a method, sorry. Remember? Total physical response method. So the teacher used to make the student move in the classroom. Why is he or she doing that? Because he want to provide a condition to learning by doing that. So you provide the condition. So to put it simple, learning theory has to do with process, and also number two has to do with conditions. Together, both of them gives rise to method. Is it clear so far? So if we talk about audiolingual method, for example, now can we apply? So can we apply this to three approaches? 1, 2. This is the structural, and this is what we call functional. And this one, number 3, interactional. Interactional. Yasmin, can you read this?
Structural, functional, interactional.
Please, Yasmin, stay with me. Have a look at the handouts and tell
Yes.
what are they?
Those are approaches.
Very good. More specifically, linguistic or language approaches, right? So this language approaches. You see, approach. Briefly, tell me keywords here. Yasmin, keywords here, keywords here. And then connect them to the method. Is it clear?
Structural, yes, it is.
Okay. From the handout, Yasmin, you have some time. You talk to me. At the same time, have a look at the handout.
Okay.
Great. So the question is, write few words. Write few words about each. Okay? And then connect those approaches to method. Which method we are talking about? Yasmin, can you have a look at page 2021?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start by 20.
I am on page 20.
Okay, good. So I would like you to look at the word structural view. And then the next page you have functional view. And then the same page you will have interactional view. Would you like Yasmin to read the first part?
Yeah. The first and the most traditional of the three is the structural view.
Mm-hmm.
The view that language is a system of structurally related elements for the coding of meaning.
Why they are
The
related? Why they are related? When we are talking about structural view of language. So those elements are related. How? Please, all of you, have a look at page 20 and 21 in the chapter.
Teacher,
Yes.
Professor,
Mm-hmm.
sorry for interrupting. Can you admit Farah?
Sure.
She's trying to, yeah, okay,
All right,
thank you.
You're welcome, thanks. Yes, Yasmin.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Anyway, we'll talk about that when you are teaching a lesson.
Professor,
Then you can sometimes you can when we teach grammar, for example, you can start with teaching present simple, and then you move to the past simple. Once students master past simple, then you can teach them, based on that, you can teach them present perfect. You know, most teachers do this, teach this way. So like you do this part, this section about language. Based on that, you move to another part, and then another, and then another. Okay, unless the student masters the grammar or grammatical structures. But your focus is more on structure of language. That's why here it's traditional view of teaching, structural view. Okay, Yasmin, continue. Next.
Continue reading.
Yes. So we said that this is the most traditional of the three.
Of the three is the structural view, the view that language is a system of structurally related elements for the coding of meaning. The target of language learning is seen to be the mastery of elements of this system, which are generally defined in terms of phonological units, example phonemes, grammatical units, example clauses, phrases, sentences, and grammatical operations, for example, adding, shifting, joining, or transforming elements, and lexical items, for example, function words and structure words.
Okay, so this theory of language perceives language as a unit, right? As a unit.
Mm-hmm.
It's can be words, vocabulary, or it can be grammatical units, or it can be a sentence or clause. All right, this is how they see language. And in teaching, they will do that. They will apply this, the way they teach language. Continue.
As we see in chapter 4, the audiolingual method
embodies this particular view of language. So the audiolingual method embodies this particular view of language. What does this mean, Yasmin? So if you can see here, this
shows.
this is
Nothing, continue.
okay. This is an approach. This is an approach, and this is audiolingual method is a method. Right, Yasmin? So structural view of a language is an approach. Audiolingual method is a method. And that's why we have here audiolingual method embodies, embodies this particular view of language. It means represent it.
Yeah.
All right? Okay.
All right.
Second
view of language.
Next paragraph.
The second view of language is the functional view. The view that language is a vehicle for the expression of functional meaning. The communicative movement in language teaching subscribes to this view of language.
Okay, so can you apply the same thing, Yasmin? So here,
functional.
Yes. So structural, which one embodies this theory of language?
Audiolingual method.
Very good. Audiolingual method. Yasmin, you can see my writing? Is it you can
Yes, yes, clear.
Good.
It is clear.
Great. What about the next one? So this is one. Now, if I say here functional, so this is structural, right? What is the method that matches with this theory?
Communicative language teaching.
Yeah.
All right, communicative. Communicative language teaching. Now, would you like to, here we say structures, we say words, syntax, morphemes, etc. What about this?
Sir?
Ibtisam. Ibtisam. Yes?
Farah, my name is Farah.
Farah, yes, Farah.
Yes. The functional theory views...
Farah, yes, the Baghi, right?
Yes.
Hello, Farah.
Hello.
Welcome back. Okay, Farah.
Thank you. The functional theory views language as not merely as a system of grammatical rules, as structuralists do or does, but primarily as a means for communication and social interaction.
Good. In other words, as you said, the focus more on a communicative dimension rather than grammatical characteristics of language, or rather than merely. So the focus is not only at the level of structures,
the rules, but
beyond that, we take into consideration the function of language, the communicative aspect of it. Farah, very good. Would you like to read something from the next paragraph about the functional view?
Okay, 1 minute, please.
Please have a look at page 21. 21, the handouts, this one, the handouts, the chapter. The title of the chapter is The Nature of Approaches and Methods. While waiting for Farah, can someone else try? Page 21.
Is
Fatima
it
Zahra, Fatima Zahra,
in
Al
the
Chitwi.
paragraph?
Hello, Fatima Zahra.
Yes.
Nice to see you
Hello.
online.
Will
Okay.
I read the paragraph which begins with the second view of language?
Yes, yes.
Okay. The second view of language is the factional view. The view that language is a vehicle for the expression of functional meaning. The communicative movement in language teaching subscribes to this view of language. This theory emphasizes the semantic and communicative dimension rather than merely the grammatical characteristics of language, and leads to a specification and organization of language teaching content by categories of meaning and function rather than by elements of structuring grammar. Wilkins' national
Not national, but
tables
notional. Fatima Zahra, notional.
notional
Mm.
syllabus 1976 is an attempt to spell out the implications of this view of language for syllabus design. A notional syllabus would include not only elements of grammar and lexis but also specify the topics, notions, and concepts the learner needs to communicate about. The English for specific purposes. Movement likewise begins not from a structural theory but from a functional account of learner needs.
Very good, Fatima Zahra. Very good. Well done. Would you like to say a few words about that? Just to simplify or elaborate or explain more, you can do that by looking at this table. So can you read, Fatima Zahra?
Structural, functional.
Functional. So structural,
Functional is
we can talk about grammar, syntax,
grammar.
but here, focus more on.
On the functions.
Would you like to explain more by giving some examples from the classroom?
I think that functional view focuses more.
Sorry?
Yes, I think functional view focuses more on
So here we have
meaning in communication. For example, apply this view by communication, requests, apologizing, asking, etc.
Good. Yes. So when you are teaching, let's say English, the activities should focus not only on grammar, but also on functions. Like the objective of your class is students should be able to apologize, as you said, or to ask for questions. You don't teach them. Your purpose is not to teach simple past or not to teach present perfect. Your objective is functions, to be able, okay, the students can use functions correctly. There is one word, Fatima Zahra, stay with me, syllabus. I would like you to connect these two with one keyword here. You will find it in page 21, syllable, syllabus. What is syllabus, Fatima Zahra, in your opinion? Syllabus. This is for everyone. What does the word mean, syllabus, related to these? You have 1 minute to think and share. Syllabus. You know lexis. Lexis. So lexis is words. Words. So do you teach grammar, structures, or words? Lexis. Or do you go beyond that to include functions in your teaching? And what does the word syllabus mean? What do you think, Fatima Zahra?
Professor, can I answer about syllables?
Muhammad Noor. Yes, Muhammad. Hello.
So basically, syllables is like the outline or the plan, what is going to be taught for the students.
Sorry, Muhammad, I couldn't hear the first part.
Okay, just 1 minute.
Mhm. And this one, syllabus. Please look at
Can I say something about syllables?
Yep,
Yeah, basically syllabus, it's a document that outlines structures, content, and objectives. It's like it's like a document we find in objectives of the lesson or criteria of the lesson.
Okay, Ibtisam. Very good. Would you like to apply what you have just said about these two approaches?
Structural and functional.
What you have said is correct, but I'm trying to check your understanding by trying to apply what you have said on these two, and which one do you prefer? And how?
Okay.
And how are you going to do that in your classroom as a language teacher? Because you will teach English, and which one would you go for? Would you go for structurals or functionals? And how are you going to apply this when it comes to syllabus? Syllabus. Think about it.
Okay, as I said. Okay.
Great. Anyone else?
As I said. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. As I said that syllabus is a document that contains structure and content. I think that the structuralist contains the structure. It focuses more on grammar, the structure of words and sentences, and also the content. And for the functionalist view, focus more on the objectives. For me, as a future teacher, I will go for functional rather than structural. Because this functional view focuses more on communication dimension rather than structure and others.
Good, Ibtisam. Okay, well done. Well done. So to simplify more, now what are you going to teach? English, right?
Yeah.
This is English. What is English?
Language.
A language. This is for everyone. Now you are going to teach English. As a teacher, what is your focus? What is your focus in teaching?
Communication.
Exactly. It depends. So it depends on
the level of student.
It depends on your philosophy first, and it depends on the student needs. Now let's say student needs English for business. English for business. Or English for specific purposes. Then you are not going to teach them grammatical points per se. But you have to, then syllabus means content. How are you going to, content?
The roadmap of the course. The roadmap of the course.
What do you mean
by
that? The content.
The content.
Syllabus means the content, means that
Yeah.
how are you going to select?
Organize.
Yes, select and organize. Very good. You know select?
Yes.
Select what?
The appropriate, I think.
Yes, Shakir.
Like
What your student went. For example, if they went for business, you will just select the vocabulary and the content that will benefit them.
But to what extent this is related to the syllabus? Can you elaborate more? How it's related to syllabus?
Because the syllabus
I would like
outline.
I would like you to tell me a few words about syllabus, which means content.
Okay.
And then in the content, you will select and organize. Organize. Yes, you can say a few words about these three components. Wafa.
Okay.
Because if we understand all this, we will be able to know more about teaching approaches and methods. Because in every method, you're going to apply this.
Sir, can I say a few words about select and organize?
Yes,
Concerning select, I think the teacher is gonna select the lesson based on his students' needs. As you said, sir, if the students need to study vocabulary for business, so the teacher is going to teach them just vocabulary for business, and for organize, it's about organizing the objectives. Organizing the objectives, and that's it.
It's okay, Btisam, but you can select and organize what to teach. For example, we have English, French, Arabic. Who is going to determine what to teach?
Teacher.
Not
the needs of students.
Okay. But
and the curriculum as well.
Yeah, if you are a teacher, you don't have the freedom choice to teach whatever, because you are working under the umbrella of the Ministry of Education. So the Ministry of Education,
yes, sir,
Morocco, is going to give you a textbook.
So you are obliged to the curriculum.
Yeah, this is the textbook. This is a gateway to English. This is textbook by the Ministry of Education in Morocco. So they will decide what to teach in the classroom. Is it more about grammar? Is it more about functions? Is it more about, okay, so they do that for you. But also as a teacher, you can have a voice. You can also take part in the curriculum design, or what we call the syllabus design, because you know better. You know your student needs. You know why the students are learning English. What's the purpose behind that? And then you can plan. Okay, then you can plan your lesson accordingly so that the students can learn better, and also they can be more motivated. That's why we have so many students are not motivated, because they don't see point in learning a language. It's not relevant to them. Why should I learn those grammatical points? For them, useless. So that's why we need to have the syllabus. We change the syllabus according to the student needs. And we know that the students are diverse. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Some students are more intelligent, some students are fast learners, and you cannot have one single textbook that fits all. Okay, so that's why we talk about the level of syllabus. But as a teacher, you have certain freedom when it comes to planning activities. What do you do in the classroom? That you can do, but sometimes you cannot decide on the content. That's why we have Moroccan curriculum, British curriculum, American curriculum, because they will decide on the contents, what to teach, and how to organize the contents. Which one comes first? Simple past or present perfect? Which ones is given priority? Vocabulary or let's say dialogues or listening activities or speaking or writing?
Professor.
All these questions should be answered collectively by education policy makers, teachers, and listening to the student needs today. What are their needs? Why they are learning? Okay, because it's so important. Just not focus on just teaching whatever comes to your mind about language. Yes, please. I want to say something.
Professor.
Yes.
Earlier, you asked us which method or approach, that we prefer. Is it structuralist or functionalist? Don't you think that we can combine both? We can focus on the structure and also on meaning.
This is very important issue and very good question, Nisreen. I would like you to add one more approach, which is interactional.
Interaction.
And then we talk about all. So this will say syllabus. Is it clear for you now? Syllabus.
Yes.
Content. What to teach, and why. So teachers are doing different things. Some of them focus only on grammar. Some of them do some functions, but some of them go more beyond that to focus on their communication part. Students should be able to communicate where, to whom, which vocabulary, what are the words I should include. Okay, because I would like to tailor my lesson to my student needs and why they are learning. I always should ask myself this question: why am I teaching this? Does it concern learners or not? If it's not, then students will not really, they will not listen. They will not listen to what I'm saying because it doesn't concern them. Nisreen, would you like to repeat what you have said, please?
I told you that earlier you asked us which approach we prefer. Is it structuralist or functionalist? I asked you if we can combine like two approaches, for example, or three: structuralist, interactional, and functionalist.
This is very good question. What do you think first, and then I can...
For me, I think we can combine both structuralist and functionalist and interactionalist at the same time.
All right. So how can you do that? Let's say you
Sir, can I go for it, please?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, you can say something.
Okay, so you mentioned that.
To Nisreen. Okay.
To Nisreen.
Listen, Nisreen, to Rida, and let me know if you agree with him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Nisreen, you mentioned that how can we merge between functionalist and structuralist. So basically, we can combine them. For example, when we are teaching functions, like some expressions, when it comes to like apologize. So here we teach student, I do apologize. So here we implicitly teach them grammar. I mean, I subject plus verb, etc.
I'm sorry, Rida, would you like to repeat that? Sorry. Because
yes, sir. I told her.
I didn't get your point.
Okay, sir. I told her that we can merge between functionalist and structuralist. For example, when we are teaching students some expressions about apologizing or request or whatever.
Rida,
so
sorry
here.
Rida, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes.
Your answer is good.
Yes, sir.
But I would like you to try to connect or include the three approaches at the same time. So we have structural, then functional, and then interactional.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, so you can, like, when you are teaching students some functions, I mean, some expressions about request or apologize, you are explicitly teaching them grammar. And because of those functions, you can create a conversation between students.
I agree.
So basically,
we can.
okay.
Continue.
Me, sir?
Okay, continue. Done? Finished?
Yeah, this is my point.
So,
I said that it is I said that it is possible to merge between the three.
What do you think, Nisreen?
I agree, because as Rida said, we can separate the three approaches actually, because they are related. When we are teaching functions, indirectly we're teaching structure as well.
Did you say you can? Did you say, because I couldn't hear well, did you say you can or you can't?
You can.
You can.
Yeah.
Again, it depends on the teacher's approach and philosophy.
Yeah.
Now, some teachers teach past simple. Okay, they will say in the past simple you add ed, worked. So what? For
example,
what purpose?
they
will stop there. They want to go beyond that. So to me, you can teach grammar to serve communication purposes. So students can master the structure. Okay, they can know how to write past simple. I worked hard yesterday. She worked, etc. But then they can communicate. You can put scenarios for them to practice, because this is what they really need in reality. Why they are learning grammar? They are what's the purpose again? It depends on the activities. It depends on your objective and the student need. Okay, Nisreen? So it can be different from one teacher to another.
So we can combine them.
Depend on your objective and the time you have. Let's say I have some students who would like to come to me to the classroom. They want to communicate in business. Their purpose is only to communicate orally in the business. Now, what I'm going to teach them, I'm going to help them achieve this objective. I'm not going to teach them grammar, or maybe I'm going to focus more on spoken rather than writing. I'm not going to integrate writing because they are not interested in writing emails or essays. So I'm going to plan accordingly. Okay, depending on the time I have, sometimes I have 3 hours or 2 hours a week. I can't teach everything. That's why I told you about the content. Do you remember the syllabus? I can't teach everything. I can't teach all the grammatical points, all functions, all communication side. I have to select and organize and provide an atmosphere. That's my role. A condition for learning and what to be taught, what is needed for them within the time framework I have, because sometimes I don't have time to teach everything. Nisreen, what do you think?
Actually, I agree. It depends on time and students' needs.
Yeah. But another important thing to add, Rida, and Nisreen, based on what you have said, also, have you heard of the traditional method? Traditional method.
Yeah. When the teacher is at the center of the teaching process.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard of recent method? Recent.
Student-centered, I think.
Yeah, centered.
So nowadays, we are talking about, for example, task-based method or communicative teaching method. But in the past, the focus more, first we have focused more on grammar translation method. Have you heard of this method? grammar, translation, method. What do you think about this method? So first, this was the method that was the dominant at that time. And then people try to find new ways of teaching. We should not focus on this. So every theory built on another theory to have a better approach. Okay, you see my point? So we have one method, and then someone else comes and critique this method, add something to it, and then another comes and so on. It's like that. So first, I would like you to compare between now 3 things: grammar translation method, audiolingual method, communicative language method. Here, they focus more on writing. You see, writing. Write this sentence correctly, accurately. Later on comes another approach. They will say, no, language is more spoken. They will critique that approach. They will say language is spoken more than it's written because we speak language. Not because some languages are spoken and not written, and we need to communicate orally. Okay, and based on that, they will have this method. You see my point, Nisreen? So we have new method according to the student needs today and the function of language.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome, Nisreen. Now, would you like to go back again to this?
Professor.
Yes. If you have questions,
I have a question.
Please, if you have any questions, you can interrupt me and ask questions, please. Yes.
I want to ask a question concerning the functional and structural view.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that learning a language for a purpose or focus more on the function will help students to communicate effectively?
Very good question indeed, Wafa. That's why I would like you to have a look at page 21 and compare between functional and interactional.
Okay.
Because this approach moves beyond the function. Okay, so first of all, we have this one, this approach. Then we have function, and then we have a conversation. What do you think, Wafa, about these two? Are they exactly the same thing, or there is an addition? There is an addition when it comes to interactional method.
Professor, I don't understand syllabus.
Syllabus, yeah, good question. Syllabus briefly means content. The content. For example, you are teaching English.
The outline.
Yeah. Normally we say the selection of the content. What to teach, what not to teach. Who decide? For example, I give you a simple answer. Some textbooks, when I say textbook, because a textbook represent the syllabus or the curriculum from the ministry. Now, I cannot see anything related to pronunciation. No pronunciation, no listening. So why? Maybe another syllabus will give more importance to pronunciation in English, more phonetics, because they believe that pronunciation is important for learners. Who is going to decide the content? Meaning, reading, focus more on reading, writing, and activities and objectives. Okay, that's what we mean by syllabus. And syllabus is based on of course, on the method and approaches for your philosophy of language. What is language? Why should we learn it? What's the student needs? And then I have activities and plan lessons accordingly. So some scholars say we should not have a textbook at all. Why? Because I should listen to my student need, and then I have a textbook, not vice versa. I don't need textbook, simply because I have to listen to my students, and then I plan. Anything to add? Wafa?
Sure, I have a question.
Yes, professor.
Okay.
So to what
Wait for me, okay? Yes, please.
Okay.
So, sir, I have a question. Since you said that the syllables is the content, we can say that syllables is the Moroccan curriculum,
Good question.
or what? So, to what okay? To what extent Moroccan classroom is going to meet students' need, especially as the students are diverse. Some students want, especially in learning a foreign language, some students want to learn how to communicate well, and others want to master grammar rules and something like that. So, what are the possible solutions we can do?
Good. So first of all, when we talk about syllabus, we're not talking about Morocco only. We're talking in general. In Morocco, in America, in every country related to language teaching. Okay. And it depends on have you heard of policy? Education. Ibtisam, have you heard of education policy?
No, sir.
Okay. Education policy is the policy by the nation, by Morocco. So Morocco as a country, as a ministry, they believe that we need to teach, for example, French. نعطيكم على مستوى السياسة التربوية أو السياسة اللغوية أحيانا. مثلا Moroccan ministry will believe that French, we should teach French. We should teach Arabic. We should teach Islamic studies. Why? Because students need some skills, some knowledge. Because we are an Islamic country, an Arabic country. We need Arabic. If you go to America, there's no Arabic. Okay, this is at the level of subject matter. Also, English at the level of subject now. English. What to teach when it comes to English language? Teach communication, grammar, etc. etc. Who is going to decide this? Who is going to decide this? That's why, for me, we need a reform. You know the word reform? To me, we need a reform at the level of textbook and the level of objectives. Because we still have traditional view of language.
But sir, we have diverse students. How we're gonna meet their needs if we have specific curriculum?
To me, to deal with diverse students, we do not have to base on textbook. And we should also change the assessment. Why baccalaureate students are studying English? Can you answer me, Ibtisa? Baccalaureate students, why are they learning English?
Just to pass the exam, I think. Not all of them are interested in English, actually.
Like at the level of the ministry, at the level of curriculum, at the level of syllabus, we have some skills. Okay, we should, for example, the student should be able to communicate in English. We'll find it in the curriculum. But to what extent students can? So the student cannot communicate orally in English. That's why you have to change a little bit the textbook and the activities. And we give more freedom to the teachers. Okay, we give them more choices to do things in the classroom. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Good, because we want them to have some skills, not only knowledge. So after baccalaureate exam, the student will go to the university. The student will work. So they will need English in the workplace. They will need English in the university. That's why they are learning English. Okay, so we should make sure that my objectives are met.
So now it depends on the teacher beside the curriculum.
Of course, the teacher but the teacher cannot decide on everything. The teacher has to follow the objectives mentioned in the textbook and the baccalaureate assessment. For example, in the baccalaureate exam, we don't have listening in the exam. We do not have oral communication exam. So why we do not include these two important components of language? So we should modify a little bit the objective outcomes when it comes to teaching English in our schools, starting from primary school. No, starting from kindergarten. You cannot just wait until the university or secondary school. You have to first start from the early education stages. Anyway, there are a lot of
thank you.
Thanks, Tita. Next, please. I would like other people to say a few words about these three.
Do we have the break?
Actually, I'm planning to continue without any break. If you need to go for 5 minutes, and then you can come back. Okay. So
Yes,
I will continue talking about the same thing. In case you need to go for 5 minutes, you can go and come back. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Then we'll leave earlier. Because I would like to continue this handout today in this lecture, and then we move to another module. Can someone share with me the difference between these three approaches? Can someone say a few words about conversation or interactional?
Sir.
Hmm.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name? Nadia.
Yes.
Yes, Nadia, please.
Last session we said that interactional, it means like cooperative learning. Is that true?
Sorry, Ibtisam, I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
It's me, Nadia.
Nadia, afwan.
Yeah, I said last session we said that interactional means like cooperative learning.
Comparative.
Cooperative.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Good. Yeah, good point. Cooperative learning. Very good.
Yeah.
Did you find would you like to tell me from where you get this point in the handout? Because I think this is good. Yeah, cooperative learning. You'll find it in page 22. Cooperative learning. Good. So, Nadia.
Yes.
What is an interactional theory? What do we call it? Approach or method?
I think it's a method. It's a method. No. Approach.
Oh, طبعا. Of course it will be.
It's an approach.
It will be this.
It is an approach.
It's an approach. Yeah, it is an approach. So interactional, it's all this is approach. Approach 1, approach 2, approach.
It's focused on how language is used in real-time conversations.
So if it's an approach, what's the method? We can that's a method that matches this approach.
Functional.
Huh?
The functional theory.
Communicative language teaching, I think.
I can feel that some of you, Saraha, still confuse an approach and methods.
Communicative language teaching.
Or step by step. Okay. Who says functional?
Me.
Ikram.
Ikram,
you were not listening. Listen, Ikram.
Because you have said that there is a relation between the functional and interactional views.
Okay, Ikram, stay with me. So, structural view of language is an approach. That's approach 1. Functional is another approach. Interactional, another approach. So 3 different approaches. Okay, Ikram. Why approach? Approach to language. Based on this, we can have a method. Ikram, which method matches the structural view of language? We can talk about audiolingual. Okay, Ikram. Audiolingual method.
Yes.
So audiolingual method is based on the structural view of language. Interactional approach. One of the methods we can do is simply, there are a lot of methods. You can use, as you said, cooperative learning. Cooperative. You know the word cooperative? Cooperative. What comes to your mind when you hear the word cooperative?
Group works.
Very good, group work. Because in reality, we speak language with people. You do not speak, yeah, there are cases when you speak to yourself, but most of the time we speak language in society, in groups. So we have to teach language in groups. Students should interact, should speak to each other. That's how we should teach a language. So teachers who are using group work, they base their teaching on this approach, interactional approach, rather than structure. Okay? Cooperative, group work, task, you know, task-based approach? Task.
Yes. It focuses on having students like to complete meaningful tasks, like for example, planning a trip or solving a problem between each other.
Good, very good. So the student must do a task together. For example, you will complete one part of it, and another student will do another part. Together, they will complete a meaningful task. In this sense, it is interactional approach, because
yes,
focus, that's social. You know the word social dimension, because language is social phenomenon, and students should communicate socially, meanings with people, with others. Good. So I hope this one is clear. I would like you now to move to another section. Can you hear me? I would like to share a slide. So I will remove the camera and then I will share PowerPoint. Nisreen, can you hear me?
Yes, Professor.
Would you like to confirm if you can see my slides?
Yes, sure.
So I will remove the خليك معايا, please stay with me 1 minute, please. Camera, okay. I'm gonna share. You cannot share. Nisreen?
Yes, Professor.
Nisreen, would you like to confirm if you can see my...
Not really.
Desktop. No?
Now I can see the slide.
Good. You can see clearly?
Yes.
All right, good. Would you like to read this first part?
Sure. Approach, method, technique, procedure.
Procedure. Okay. So I haven't talked about procedure. Let me highlight few things. I have to explain something before would you like, listening, to tell me a little bit about the procedure, or what we call a design? You will find it in the handout.
Okay, let me search first. Same handout, right?
Same, yes. Nisreen, can you see the slide?
Yes.
Because I have to explain something before trying to read from the slides. Stop sharing, and then I'm going to use camera. Nisreen, I will explain something before explaining the slides.
Sir, can I answer?
Yes, please.
According to the handouts, like design means what links theory with practice, or an approach with the procedure.
Which page, please?
Page number 24.
Thank you.
Good, thanks.
You're welcome. I think the first paragraph, the last line.
Who is speaking? Nadia, right?
Yes.
Nadia. Okay, Nadia. Let me know about the difference between. So far, we have explained that a method is based on an approach, right? We have talked about different approaches, like structural, functional, interactional. Now, in order to move from a method, can you see the board?
Yes, we can.
In order to move from a method to in order to move from an approach
to, yes.
In order to move from an approach to a method, what do we need?
We need a link.
The theory.
Yeah, design.
Theory is an approach.
Yes.
That's what we mean by approach is theory, as I have explained it. Of course, this is theory.
We apply the theory into practice.
Exactly. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yes, we need to apply a theory. We need to apply it so that to become a method, to be a method, we need design. To move from here to here, we need design. What does design include? It includes, I think, 4 or 5 components. Can you tell me, please, what are they?
First, what the objectives of a method are.
Which page, please?
The same page, 24.
24. Okay, great. Design. Great.
The second paragraph. Yes.
So in order for an approach to lead to a method, it is necessary to develop a design. Okay, and design contains, Nisreen, number 1.
Design is the level of method analysis in which we consider what the objectives of a method are. B.
Now give me the first components.
Objectives.
Very good. What is the objective? What's the objective of this lesson? What's my objective? We'll talk in details about that. Number 2. What's content. The objective of the method? My objective is to teach grammar, or my objective is to communicate orally. My objective is to interact with each other. What is my objective? So my objective should be clear. Based on that, it is one of the necessary components of a method. That's why when we are talking about a different method, we have to say a few words about what's the objective of the method. Next,
Content.
In other words?
Syllabus.
Very good. Syllabus.
Syllabus.
Very good. Syllabus. I cannot talk about a method without syllabus. Number 3. Continue.
Learning activities.
In other words, the tasks. The task in the classroom. Because teachers are doing different tasks, activities. What do you do in the classroom? All right, so learning tasks and activities. Tasks and activities. Number 4.
The rules of learners.
Very good. In every method, learners have certain roles.
And teachers as well.
Yeah, and teachers. So learners role. 5. Teachers role. Number 6. The materials.
Instructional materials.
Yes. Materials like textbook. Like, and we still have textbook that relies heavily on the text. Like no softwares, applications, visual aids. It's more about text. So we should integrate also other materials in teaching.
Professor, like audio recording. Because of technology.
Yeah, so we have to adapt to the digital era. So we still have the textbook. I think we still rely morely on words, text.
Yes.
Good. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to briefly talk about each component of a design from the handouts. I'll give examples. When we say objectives, give me an example. Content, example. Okay. Each one gives certain examples. And you will support your examples, of course, from different methods. You will say, for example, audiolingual method. The content of the audiolingual method is more about grammar and structure. That's the content. For example, one of the activities I can do in the classroom is what we call the students can work together to complete a task, because I'm trying to adapt task-based teaching method. So, okay, in every, try to support your answers from different methods. Okay?
Sir.
5 minutes.
Can you please give access to Khadija? She couldn't enter.
Yes, sure. Thank you. You're welcome. View, admit all. Okay, Nisreen, I think I'm going to share PowerPoint slide. Let me know if you can see it, please.
Okay.
Thanks. You can see?
Yes, I can see the slide and the camera as well.
Right. Well done. Yeah, let's start from here. I'll go through those slides briefly based on my, explanation. Can someone read the first slide, and then we can share?
Professor, can I read?
Please. Yes. Tisam.
Not Tisam. In describing methods, the difference between a philosophy of language teaching at the level of theory.
Because your name doesn't appear on the screen.
Nora. In describing methods, the difference between a philosophy of language teaching at the level of theory and principles and the set of derived procedures for teaching a language is central. In attempt to clarify this difference, a scheme was proposed by the American applied linguist Edward Anthony in 1963. He identified three levels of conceptualization and organization, which he termed approach, method, and technique.
Okay. Mariam, would you like briefly to summarize this slide? What is a procedure? Did I talk about a procedure? So we have talked about an approach. Nisreen, can you see the slide? We have talked about a method. Now a procedure.
Yes, I can see the slide.
All right. So let me talk a little bit about a procedure. What is a procedure? So a method is based on an approach, right? To move from an approach to method, we need design, as we said. What about procedure? Procedure, what does this mean from this slide? Can someone read? And then we can share some ideas regarding procedures.
Professor, can I read?
Yes.
Okay. Procedure is the last level of conceptualization and organization. Yes. Okay. Procedure is the last level of conceptualization and organization within a method is what refers to a procedure is encompasses the actual moments. To moment technique, practices, and behaviors that operate in teaching a language according to a practical method. It's the level at which we describe how a method realizes its approach and design in classroom behavior. At the level of design, we saw that a method will advocate the use of certain type of teaching activities and consequence of its theoretical assumption about language and learning.
Great. Noaila, what's your last name, please? Noaila, what's your last name?
My name is Nohaila Bukhamsa.
Okay, great. Okay. Nohaila, can I ask you a question, please, based on this slide?
Of course.
All right. So what is your definition of a procedure?
According to the handouts.
Yeah, because this slide is from the handout, yes.
Okay, wait. Can I have some time?
You just from the handout, you can look at the slide only, Nohaila. Just have a look at the slide and try. Nohaila.
What?
So
yes.
Nohaila, would you like to read this sentence? I'm going to highlight it. Can you read it, please?
The actual moment-to-moment technique, practices, and the behaviors that operate in teaching a language according to a practical method.
A particular method. Can you give me an example of a method?
Like audiolingual.
Okay. All right, great. So let's imagine we have an audiolingual method. And you as a teacher, you want to apply this method in your teaching. Okay. Now, to apply it, what do you need? You need practices in the classroom. What do you do in the class? The actual moment-to-moment technique. What do you do in the class? What activities? Everything you do in the classroom in order to apply this method. For example, you can rely on memorization or repetition. The student listen and repeat. That's the things I do in my classroom. That's a technique or a practice or a behavior. You know, a behavior, the student does something, the student repeats, the student listens and repeats. Because I'm trying to adapt an audiolingual method, then I'm using those activities. That's what I mean by procedure. Moment, what do you do in the class? Everything you do in the class. And everything I do must be consistent with the theory. It must be consistent with the theory and the approach. I hope it's clear for procedure.
Yes, it's clear.
All right, thank you. Can someone, this is a revision. We have already spoken about this. So this is a summary. I'm going to send you this presentation later on. It summarizes the whole chapter. Can someone read this slide about the interactional view? Interactional view.
Can I read it?
Sir, can I
The third
read?
view of a language. Okay.
See some first, and then Nadia.
The third view of language can be called the interactional view. It sees language as a vehicle for the realization of interpersonal relations and for the performance of social transactions between individuals. Language is seen as a tool for the creation and maintenance of social relations. Task-based language teaching, cooperative language learning, and content-based instruction draw on an interactional view of language.
Good. Okay, Ibtisam. Ibtisam, what do we call these?
We call them methods.
Huh? Good. And which approach they are based on?
The interactional approach.
Very good. Because all of them highlights the social, interactive,
the cooperative, yeah.
Cooperative. And
because the interactional view is based on communication, that's why these methods are based on this approach.
You said communication. What do you mean by communication?
I mean by communication, it's like I am teaching, for example, a foreign language, and I want to use this interactional view approach. I can give them this task to work together and communicate with each other, and I'm gonna give them a topic and they're gonna discuss it together.
Okay, great.
Using cooperative language learning method.
So we're going to talk about this Ibtisam in more details when we talk about communicative language teaching. So to know more about what we mean by communication. So when I say communication, I have to have a relationship between me and someone else. And also we should have a context. You know context?
Yes.
So language is in context. Language is spoken in that particular context or scenario. So we should have where and when and why and to whom. That's what we mean by communication. Like exactly what we do in everyday life. I communicate with people in certain contexts. And we should teach language that way, as if we are in real life scenarios. You know, real life scenarios.
Yes, sir.
Good, Ibtisam, all right. Next, someone else to read this slide.
Can I read, sir?
Yes, Tayyib, and then...
Okay, so structural, functional, or Interactional models of language provide theoretical framework that may motivate a particular teaching method, such as audiolingualism, but in themselves they are incomplete and need to be complemented by theories of language learning. It's to this dimension that we now turn.
Okay, good, Tayyib. Tayyib, can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah, for sure, sir.
Here we have theoretical framework. Would you like to elaborate a little bit about this?
Theoretical framework.
In this context, so you can have some time, read this slide carefully, and try to tell me a little bit about that with some examples from an approach, a method, procedures in the classroom, what do you think, and so on. Because you will teach English and you will apply these procedures.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so the theoretical framework in language teaching refers to the set of theories and principles about the nature of language and how it is learned that guide the development of a teaching method. It forms the foundation of an approach linking linguistic theory, what language is, with learning theory, how people learn languages.
Okay, Tayyip, sorry to interrupt you. Now, can you please think of a teacher, your previous teacher when you were in secondary school, your English teacher, and tell me about the theoretical framework he used in the classroom.
Oh, okay.
When I say language, it doesn't have to be English. It can be English, it can be French, it can be Arabic. And this is question for everyone, not only for Tayyib. I would like you to highlight these phrases, in yellow. I would like you to elaborate on them. I'm checking your understanding. I've already explained this. I would like someone else who haven't spoken so far.
Sir, for the example that you have asked me to give. So when I was in a language center, so I guess the most professors use the total physical response, which is, for example, especially for children. For example, the TPR classrooms, the teacher gives commands such as stand up, open the door, or pick up the book, or write down your answer, or something like this. So students respond by physically performing the action. So the approach helps us to learn by doing.
Okay, Tayyib, I can see your point. But my question was about theoretical framework. What you have said is a method, which is total physical. That's a method, right? That's a method. Yeah. But my question was about theoretical framework. Think about it, Tayyib, and let me know, okay? You have some time. Think about it. And I would like you to look for, to think about your class when you were in secondary school, not in language center, because that's mainly for children, but for adults. Your observation, your feedback when you were a student. What's your reaction? What do you think about that way of teaching a language? Was it effective or not? And why? That's why I ask about theoretical framework. So think about it, Tayyib, and you can also just prepare a short talk about this.
All right, sir.
But good job. Someone else?
Can I say something about theoretical framework?
I'm going to leave this for Tayyib, but for you, you can highlight this one. This one, Ibtisam. But in themselves, they are incomplete. Just this. Elaborate only on this phrase. But in themselves, they are incomplete. And I have already explained this.
I think these phrases are talking about specific particular methods that are not incomplete.
You need to elaborate more.
Or are talking about the theoretical framework. I'm confusing about.
If you want to know more, just read from the sentence to the sentence. It will become clear. Read this sentence, please. It will become clear.
For the example that you have asked me to search about. So just was in secondary school, especially my last year in the secondary school. I guess most teachers use focus on how to communicate by using dialogues. So, for example, they might ask you to work in pairs and perform a role play about ordering food in a restaurant or asking for a request, for example. So here, one student, for example, acts as the waiter and the other acts as the customer. They participate expressions like, for example, can I take your order? I would like a pizza, please, for example. So here, I guess teachers are focused more on communication by working in pairs. So it helps us to learn more by for example, by creating dialogues and by communicating with other students.
Okay.
Professor.
Yes, Ikram, I will give you a chance. Tayyib, now what you have said is some activities the teachers used to do in the classroom in order to develop the communicative skills of learners. Right. Now, I'm still waiting for your answer regarding the theoretical framework for that those activities. So the teachers are doing these activities, okay, role play activities, scenarios, the student acts in the classroom. That's great. But what was the theoretical framework for that? That was my question.
Professor, can I answer the theoretical framework?
As if Tayyib, you have started from the classroom, but normally you have what we call the basis. So you have something based on that, you can do those activities, not vice versa. So why is the teacher is doing more role play activities? Because he is convinced or he has philosophy. So what was that philosophy, Tayyib? In one word or two words.
For example, so here theory is like language as a communication.
Sorry, Tayyib, I couldn't hear you.
Okay, so here, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, now I can, yeah.
For example, here we have, when it comes to the theoretical framework, we have the theory of language and the theory of language learning.
Tayyib, listen to my question. That what you have said is okay. Just listen to me carefully so you know what I'm asking about. You said that the teacher used to do a lot of role play activities, like you would play the role of an actor and a waiter and so on. That's activities, that's the procedure, what you do in the classroom. Not what is the theoretical framework, which theoretical framework that matches those activities in the classroom. Because you are talking in general. When I ask you a question, you're talking in general. Now my question is specific. What is the theoretical framework based on those activities the teacher used to do in the classroom?
Professor, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Okay, theoretical framework is the set of theories and ideas that support and explain the study.
Who is speaking? Nuhaila.
Yes.
So are you talking, can you address your answer to Tayyib, please, and see if he agrees with you? Tayyib?
Yeah.
She's trying to say a few words about that. Mm-hmm. Yes, Nuhaila.
Okay, as I said, theoretical framework is a set of theories
Nuhaila.
and ideas.
Nuhaila, I would like you to comment on what Tayyib has said. Don't talk in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your answer, because now we need to listen to each other. We are interacting with each other. So the answer should be based on what Tayyib has said. Because Tayyib was talking about some activities his teacher used to do in the classroom, like a role play activities. So you can comment on this particular points. Because if you talk in general, it doesn't guarantee that you really understood the slide. Go ahead, Nuhail.
I didn't hear what he said.
Okay, Tayyib?
Yeah.
Would you like to summarize for her just in few sentences?
Am I going to repeat the same example?
Yes. No, just some activities the teacher used to do in teaching English in your secondary school classrooms.
Yeah, in my secondary school classroom, I guess teachers used like a role play about, for example, between students. So they asked us to create dialogues or conversations between each other. So it's like a role play. For example, here I choose the example of one student acts as the waiter and the other acts as the customer. Okay, they practice expressions, for example, like, can I take your order? I would like a pizza, please. So they communicate about, they focus, for example, on one subject and they elaborate more about it. So they play a role play, and they create dialogues.
Okay, Tayyib, good. Nuhaila?
But I don't understand what the relationship between this example and what we say.
Tayyib?
Yes.
There should be a dialogue, interaction between you and Nuhaila.
So here we see it, theoretical framework, which is, for example, I gave you an example. So the theory of language here, for example, language is viewed as a tool for communication. So, for example, when I was in the secondary school, the teacher asked us to create a dialogue or a conversation. So and perform a role play about ordering. For example, I give you an example: ordering food in a restaurant. Okay. Then he asked us to play two roles. For example, one student acted as the waiter and the other acted as the customer. So, for example, we practiced such expressions like, can I take your order? And I would like a juice, I would like a pizza, please change this to this, for example. So here my point is about, for example, language is viewed as a tool for communication. Okay. Is it clear?
Yeah, but I'm still waiting for one word regarding to theoretical framework. So when I say theory is something, and then you apply theory in the form of practices in the classroom. So you have focused on the activities. Okay, that's good. But what is the theoretical framework for that? In other words, what is the theory? In other words, what is the approach? That's what I'm looking for, the word an approach, because an approach is a theory. So what's the theory or what's the approach behind all these practices in the classroom? Is it audiolingual? Okay, audiolingualism is a method. You said طيب dialogue. What do you think about dialogues? Are they audiolingual or communicative?
Communicative. Because we communicate and we practice, for example, dialogues and conversations. So it relates to communication.
Yeah, I can see your point here. It's more communicative, but it should be meaningful. They should be meaningful, because sometimes you can repeat a dialogue mechanically. Sometimes I can have a dialogue and repeat without understanding. Then we don't have a communicative aspect here. So dialogues can be not all the time. It depends. It doesn't mean I have a dialogue. It doesn't mean it is communicative. And I can see some students are learning French, just repeating, just memorizing without understanding. And here it's not communicative. So the dialogue, okay. Conversation is okay, but it should be communicative. First of all, you should understand what you are talking about. Not only repetition without understanding. So it should be meaningful. It should be, in other words, it should be contextualized. You have a context as well. You repeat, like as you said, in a cafe, in a restaurant, and you play the role. The language you need for that particular communicative event. Okay, Tayyib. Good. Well done.
So, sir, can I explain the sentence but in themselves? The sentence. Okay. What I understand from this sentence that they are talking about the models of language, like structural, functional, or interactional. These models are not enough. These models explain just how language, what language is. They do not explain how learning happens. That's why we need learning theories, such as behaviorism, mentalism. That's it.
Good. Yes, Psisa. Exactly. Yeah. Well done. Yeah. So it's not enough. It's not enough to have language theory or linguistic theory. You need also
without learning theory.
Exactly. You need to have them both. Well done. Someone else to elaborate on these terms, phrases in yellow. If you have any questions on the chapter, you can ask me. So I'm trying to summarize for you the chapter. Based on that, we can start talking about a variety of teaching methods, language methods. Can you please elaborate on these terms, phrases in yellow? I have already explained them on the board. I'm trying to check your understanding. Yasmin Hafidi still with us or she left? Mohammed Niyadi. Aslam. Saeed. Yasmin. Rahlawi. Wafa Shakir. Sarah.
Yes.
Shakir.
Yes.
Would you like to elaborate on these terms and phrases?
Okay, I just need some time to read the slide.
Would you like to read it? Let's read together.
Okay. Although specific theories of the nature of language may provide the basis for a particular teaching method, other methods derive primarily from a theory of language learning, a learning theory underlying an approach or method response to two questions. The first one is what are the psychologists and cognitive process involved in language learning, and B, what are the conditions that need to be met in order for these learning process to be activated. Learning theories associated with a method at the level of approach may emphasize either one or both of these dimensions. Process-oriented, I think. Process-oriented theories build on learning processes such as habit formation, inferencing, hypothesis testing, and generalization. Condition-oriented theories emphasize the nature of the human and physical context in which language learning takes place.
Okay, so here we have
Professor.
Yes, Nisri.
I think that the nature of language is the same as the framework or the theoretical framework.
Yes. And so Nisri, so we have the theory of language.
Yes.
Theory of language. Learning theory. So we have two things. We have learning, language learning, and learning theory. Now, what is a learning theory according to this slide, Nisri? A learning theory.
Learning theory.
Not a language. And we said we have two things. We have language and learning.
It focuses on the cognitive processes.
Then a learning theory focus on two things. Number one,
the
psycholinguistics and cognitive. When we say psycholinguistics or cognitive, for example, what's going on in the mind of
mental.
They are thinking, for example, they are using their another language. Okay, so how they process learning? They can generalize. For example, I know this word. I can apply it to understanding a new word. So, there are a lot of cognitive operations in my mind when I'm learning. That's the process of learn or cognitive. And number two is conditions. I have explained the conditions. So you need to create conditions for learning. As a teacher, you need to provide conditions. And then we have two things. Number one, process, or number two, simply conditions or context. You see, what's the context? What's the environment? If you have any questions, please let me know. And I would like to hear from everyone, especially people who haven't spoken yet, because this is recorded. So I will also need to check if your participation with me in this online class.
Sir, can you admit Nadia, please?
Sure. Admit all. Anything to add, please? Someone to tell me about this slide, please. We have the word affinity. Maryam Abu Maryam. She's not here today. Selma. Just please highlight this slide. Darfawi Dua. Khalifa.
Affinities.
Affinity, yeah, affinity. In this course, in this context.
I guess it might refer to natural connections, shared interest, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Or for example, technical concepts.
Mm-hmm. So when we say there is affinity between two things, what are they? So there is natural
similarities and differences.
Okay, similarities between. Continue.
Can I answer, sir?
Theories.
Can we give a chance to Saeed?
Okay, so there can be some similarities between some theories. For example, we can have similarities between structuralism and behaviorism as an example.
Okay. Can you repeat again the first sentence? Similarity between?
Between some theories about language.
Okay, so similarity between language theories and
Learning theory.
And learning.
Learning theory, Said.
Yes.
Because you said at the beginning, you said theories in general. No,
Yes.
then we should have, Said, we should have a similarity, or there is similarity indeed, or affinity between language theory and the learning theory.
Yes.
For example, Said.
For example, structuralism and
Yeah,
and behaviorism.
So together.
There is an affinity between them.
Yeah, but together we will have
Audiolingualism.
Audiolingualism.
Yeah.
Audiolingualism.
Audiolingualism. So we have, what is the linguistic theory, Saeed? Linguistic theory.
Is structuralism.
Structural, yes. Or the learning theory?
Behaviorism.
Together we produce
Audiolingualism.
Exactly. Good. Anything to add about the level of here again? Can someone read this slide, Sarah, if you are here? Yahyawi Sarah. صبايتي خديجة. زروال فاطمة الزهراء. زباع. ياسمين. عفير أيمن. أمزوار مروة.
Sir, can I read?
Please, Nadia.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm here. At the level of approach, we are hence concerned with theoretical principles. With respect to language theory, we are concerned with a model of language competence and an account of the basic features of linguistic organization and language use. With respect to learning theory, we are concerned with an account of the central processes of learning and an account of the conditions believed to promote successful language learning.
Very good. Nadia, can you stay with me? I'm going to ask you a question, please. Can you see this word?
Conditions.
I would like you to reflect on English classes, in your secondary school, and tell me what some conditions the teachers used to provide for a better English teaching classroom. Because learning is more than subject matter. I'm teaching English or French or math or physics. It's more than that. It's also conditions. So would you like to give some feedback on some conditions the teachers used to create in English classrooms? Think about it.
I think I have one condition, which is creating groups in terms of learning. We create groups and then they give us instructions, and we used to talk and communicate with each other. So we build that's it.
Good. So group work. Any other thing? So all the teacher used to do group work, all of them?
Not really, just some of them.
Some of them. All right.
Professor. Another condition can be offering constructive feedback. and
Yes, what?
assessment.
Good, very good.
By
Yes.
providing.
Yeah. Error correction.
Yes.
Whenever a student makes a mistake or an error, then the teacher reinforces or encourage. So by doing this, I push my student to learn. I encourage them to learn. So this is one of the things I do as a teacher. Reinforcements. I reinforce positive behaviors like good, to do well. All these are conditions. Well done. Okay.
Professor,
Mm-hmm.
I think that also there is another conditions. For example, at the beginning of the year, each teacher set of rules. For example, how to interact with each other, how to participate, how to engage with our peers, so he could ensure a good on the smooth flow of the learning process.
Well done. Yes, please, Farah. Good point indeed. Riyad Wisal and Riyad WM. Ruhi Maryam. Twijer Mohammed.
Professor,
Mm.
what about another condition which when the teacher provide like a debate inside the classroom, for example, write some question on the board and try to tell the student in order to interact among each other to say which one is going to provide a better arguments.
Good, yes. Good point, Mohammed. Yeah, this can be motivational for student to talk and engage. However, be careful because sometimes to create competitive atmosphere in the classroom, sometimes it doesn't work with all students. Bear in mind the student level, student age, all right? But it can be a good activity to draw the attention of learners so they can learn because they find it interesting, relevant to their own experience. Yes, good point. What is a design, please? Who can elaborate on this? Design.
Hi, Professor. On
Yeah. Huh? Can I have your name? Sorry. I couldn't hear you. Say it again. Who is speaking? Can you speak up? You are muted. Unmute yourself and speak. Again.
She said Arwa.
Arwa, yes, please. Yes, Arwa. What do you mean by design? Barma Kaltoum. Ait Billah Yusuf. Can I have some, please, can you try to participate and engage with me? Itaou Sara, Faiz Ikram. A lot of people are absent. I would like you to attend the classes, especially if they are online. So maybe online classes will make it easy for you. If you don't like the timing, we can also choose another time and date.
Zarwan, you called me before.
Yeah, but I would like to hear from you. What do you think about this slide? I have already explained it.
Can I say a few words about language theory?
Okay.
So, language theory explores how language is structured and
What is
used
your
to
last name?
communicate.
Sorry.
What?
What is your last name?
I didn't hear you.
Yeah, you have a problem in connection. I cannot hear you well. Okay, go ahead.
Professor is Darwan.
Sure. Professor, I am Zarwan from Zara.
Ah, okay. I can hear you now. Yes, what's Zara?
So, language theory explores
how language is structured and used to communicate meaning. And for example, Chomsky's language theory suggests that humans have an innate ability to learn language.
Okay, but Mazara, we have already talked about that, but I would like you to focus on this particular slide.
Sir, can I please elaborate on this slide?
Sure, okay.
Because you know I have already started from a method and then approach and then design, so that you can have a complete overview of all. So if one of you or some of you joined just now, just to follow with us. I don't want to repeat what I have already said. Who is speaking? Nadia? Or Mohammed?
Yes, I said to move from an approach to a method, we need a link, and that link named or called a design.
Okay, so a design includes how many components?
I think
B, C,
D,
F.
E,
So how many?
Six.
6. The first one is?
Objectives.
So what's the objective?
Objectives of the lesson.
Let's give some example of the material. For example, my objective.
Like, for example, what are method?
To know the difference between an approach and a theory, for example.
I couldn't hear you, sorry. So the objective is, what's the objective behind this method? Some methods focus more on oral skills. For example, oral rather than writing. So we will teach more communication skills. That's your objective. So in every class, in every lesson, you should have a clear objective. Not only you, but also teachers, students. So you should communicate your objective also to the students, so they know what is expected of them. Because sometimes the students are lost. They don't know what's the objective. So the objective should be clear for you and for your students. Some methods place a greater emphasis on accurate grammar. My objective behind this lesson, the student should be able to introduce or produce accurate grammatical structure. مثلا, for example, present perfect. By the end of this class, the student should be able to produce this structure. I have read a book. I have done my homework. They should be able to do it accurately. That's my purpose, is grammar. Or sometimes pronunciation. I would like to highlight pronunciation. So all these are objectives. Okay, next. Objectives, and then number 2?
Syllabus.
Content.
Very good. Good. Well done. Syllabus. Number 2 is a syllabus. In other words, as I said, content choice. Content choice and organization. There is another word, is sequencing. Do you know this word? Sequence. Sequence. I'm teaching English. What comes first? What comes second? What comes third? How can I do this sequencing?
The order.
The order, yeah, the order of the lesson. Because sometimes
For example,
it's so important, so I'll start with it. And I cannot, as I told you, I cannot teach everything, but I take only what is important or what is necessary. Or let's focus on skills. The students can learn by themselves. And I'm not giving them everything. They can work independently. They can work on their own. Anyway, so this is the number 2 is syllabus. Can somebody read this slide and see more about the syllabus?
Yeah, Professor, can I read?
Mohammed?
Content choice and organization, the syllabus. All method thus involve over and cover decision concerning the selection of language items, word, sentence pattern, tenses, construction, function, topics, and etc. that are to be used within course or a method. Discussion about the choice of a language content related to both subject matter and a linguistic matter. Is straightforward terms and make decision about what to talk about, subject matter. And now to talk about linguistic matter, ESP courses, for example, are necessarily subject matter concerned structurally based methods such as situational language teaching and audiolingual method are necessarily linguistic focused.
Great. Good, Mohammed. Would you like to elaborate or highlight an element or a point?
Which means that the syllabus, the main purpose of the syllabus, if we go to a word called the ESP is English for specific purpose. We only teach students what they need. For example, we teach them how to introduce themselves or how to express their personality. So syllabus, the main purpose is to teach someone what they need for a specific purpose.
So good. So the content must reflect this. So English for specific purposes. So in my lessons, I should focus more on those activities that foster communication aspect in business setting. So when I say content or syllabus, Mohammed, I'm talking about selection and decisions. Selection of what, Mohammed? You can select, for example, words, vocabulary. So I'm going to focus on these words because they are more important words. So I'm going to select them. Or I can select tenses, certain tenses, passive voice, conditional 1 and 2 and 3 and so on. To what extent they are relevant and I can select them to be taught. Or topics. Any idea about topics? Who chooses the topics in the syllabus?
I believe the students, because we are serving the needs of the students.
Now I'm talking about Moroccan context, Mohammed, in public schools.
Curriculum.
Curriculum, yeah.
Can you see this textbook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
هذا gateway أنا غنشوفوها together now. I can see here table of content. We have units, education, media. What do you think about these topics? Based on your experience, do you think they are relevant to the student needs, age, level, expectations, or not? Do you think we need to change them? Travel, human rights, for example, all these are topics to be taught. So maybe we need to change some of them because they are not really relevant to today's students. So do students need to know more about travel? Okay, human rights, celebrations, to some extent. Or we can change the topics because we need some topics that are more appealing, more, that the students find attractive. That's for syllabus. Number 3. This is also the same thing. So what was number 1? Mohammed?
Objective.
Number 1 was the objective. Number 2?
Syllabus.
Syllabus. Number 3?
Learning activities.
Learning activities or type of learning activities.
Types of learning, yes. Type of learning activities. So what does, can you elaborate more on this? So you can have some activities, tasks that focus more on grammatical accuracy. Or, as we said, can you give me some activities? Okay, some activities or tasks for some methods.
For example, sure.
in audiolingual method.
صفاء الصديقي welcome.
Yes. In audiolingual method, teachers use dialogues, drills, and so on to help students in grammar.
Sorry to interrupt you, Safa.
Yes.
If you remember, all of you, we were talking about, some of you said that a dialogue can be a good way, effective way in developing the communication skills of learners. And
Yes.
I said that a dialogue can be used in audiolingual method as well as in communicative language method. So you can use the same activity. You can use the same task, but depending on your objective. So your objective can be grammar or it can be communication, but the same task, okay, at the same time, which is a dialogue. You get the point. So depending on your objective or approach in class. So if you believe that audiolingual method is that's the method for you, you can use a dialogue. Also, you can use a dialogue for communicative language teaching, but you will apply them differently. Okay. Continue.
The dialogue in audiolingual method, I think it is more mechanical. Students don't understand what they are.
Yes. But for
students just memorize dialogue. They not practice to use it themselves in a real situation. They just memorize the dialogue that teacher give them specially.
Yes, you don't know where to use these words or.
Yes, they like to use language in a real situation.
Okay, well, good. What about this one? What do you think about this activity, information gap? This is an activity or a task you can have in the class. You can do in the classroom. What do you think about it? Do you think it's an effective information gap?
I think it's associated with communicative language teaching, as it encourages interaction, negotiation between students.
So do you think it's a good strategy for a communicative approach, for communicative or for grammar or for functions?
I think for grammar and functions.
Communication.
Yeah. For example, you can have student A and student B. So you have the answer to your question I have is with me. So I have to ask you a question so that I can answer. We must have a conversation together. You know, some textbook contain this kind of activity, information gap. Something is missing. And I cannot complete the task unless I ask you. You see? So it's more communicative. I'm going to ask you, clarify, please, what do you mean? This good activity which fosters the communication. I'm listening, okay, I'm understanding, and so on. It's good activity, information gap. So learners work on the same task, but each learner has different information needed to complete the task. I think this is very good activity that you can do in the class, provided that the students are speaking English, not Arabic, for example. So they should speak English to communicate in English. What can you say about the notion of task? Because you will hear a lot the word task in today's teaching method, task. In other words, I would like you to say a few words about these two methods, communicative language and task-based. Can you see this? Are you with me or?
Yeah, we hear you, sir.
Yes, we are.
لا صافي ما بقاش عندكم الصبر. صبرنا
Yes,
فيه.
Yes, we are.
I'm not having break. I'm not having any break. ولكن we are going to you know, to finish earlier.
Yeah, inshallah.
If you need short break, you can go for 5 minutes and come back. Everybody is learning something. It depends on your patience and attention. So my question is, what is the relationship between communicative language? Can you write it down, this question, please, for everybody? What is the relationship between communicative language teaching and task-based language teaching? So at the same time, we are introducing more methods.
Sir, can you repeat the question, please?
Sure, Nadia. What is the relationship? Sarah Al-Yahyawi. Sarah Al-Yahyawi is with us because every time she asked me to admit her, but I'm not sure if she can. Sarah, can you confirm if you are here? What is the relationship between? So this is the question. What is the relationship between communicative language teaching and task-based approach or task-based method? Task-based teaching. You have a few minutes. Teaching. What do you think?
Yeah, Professor, can I say some few words?
Please. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically task-based language teaching is connected to communicative language teaching because they both focus on using language to communicate, not just learning rules. So communicative language teaching, it helps learners to speak and understand real-life situation through activities like role play and conversation, while task-based language teaching takes this further by giving learner tasks to complete, like writing a message or solving a problem, so they use language naturally.
Good, very good. So we can say, Mohammed, that task-based teaching is related to communicative or an update or new version of it. So first of all, we have a communicative, and then we have the focus more on tasks. You should be able to complete a task. Yes.
Sir, please. Sarah Hiyawi, for her, she had some technical problem.
So who? Sarah?
Yahyawi.
Yahyawi. I can see that. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So what we have done so far? Number 1, objectives. Number 2, syllabus. Number 3.
Can you explain the task you said in communicative approach and communicative?
Shakir, we're going to talk in details about each method, but for now, task-based is related to communicative. So because both of them highlight the communicative aspects of language, right? But first of all, we had communicative, and then we had the new version, if you like, of it, which is task. So the focus more on a task as a communicative occurrence. But we are going to talk on details later on about each one. Anything we can add, please, from here? This is, I think I've already spoken about this. Now, what was Shakir? What was number 1? Objectives. Number
2, syllabus.
Number 3,
teaching activities and learning activities.
Activities and tasks.
Yes.
And learners' roles. In your opinion, what is the role of a learner? So it can differ from one method to another. So the role of a learner can differ from a method to another. Some methods will give more responsibility to the learners. They can be responsible for their own learning. In some methods, students are passive. They are passive learners. They just receive and absorb information passively. But nowadays, we tend to give more importance to learners. They should initiate. They should be engaged in the learning process. How can we do that? Let me hear from you. How can we engage learners in the learning process? Which method gives more attention, focus to the learner? So we have the role of the learner and the role of the teacher. What do you think about that? Based on this slide? Sometimes the teacher, in some method, the teachers control everything, control the whole learning process.
Yeah. For example,
sometimes
in audiolingual method.
Okay. How? Can you elaborate on that? How does the audiolingual method perceive the role of a learner? We can see here, we have, I'm going to read this. This is seen in the type of activities learners carry out, the degree of control learners have over the content. Do they have any control on the content, or only the teacher, only the ministry, only the curriculum who decide the content? What do you think about that? Do you think that we should give more opportunities for learners to decide on the content to be taught? To me, I think so. I think we should listen to the learners, their interests, their needs, and then we can have the content. Okay? Not only the teachers who can decide all the time. You give more freedom to learners. So we can see learners as problem solvers, initiators, performers. Okay, all these roles can be assigned to learners. What can we say about criticism of audiolingual method regarding to the role of the learners? Can somebody tell me from this slide? Some students who haven't spoken yet, I invite them to try. Yes, Nadia.
I think learners in audiolingualism don't have that much role. The role is more like emphasized on teachers.
Okay.
I think this is.
Learners are passive.
Yes, they are
They
passive.
just respond to a stimuli and respond. That's it.
That's it, yes. Stimulus and response. Stimulus, response, mechanically. And also comes from the teacher. The teachers who initiates, controls everything.
They are active, and learners, they are more passive.
Professor?
Yes.
I think that in audiolingual method, the learners may find that this method is boring and monotonous, as it focuses only on routine without encouraging deep understanding and creativity. Just repetition. Just repeat what exactly the teacher has said without giving them the freedom to generate or to use their creativity and their abilities.
Great. What can you say, Farah, about the suggestions? A, B, C, D, E. Those are some of the roles of learners. What can you What can you say about them? Do you agree with those rules? Do you think they are okay? They are effective? And to what extent we apply this in our classrooms? Now let's start by A, for example. Learners plan their own learning programs and thus ultimately assume responsibility for what they do in the classroom. So you give them more responsibility, but before that, they can.
I think that it is
take part in the planning. Yes, Farah. Farah, can you hear me?
I didn't hear you. I'm here. The voice, I didn't hear you well.
Yeah. My question, can you hear me now? You can hear me? Anyway, Farah, I think there is a problem. You cannot hear me well. Can somebody else?
Professor,
Sarah, hello,
may
Sarah.
I say something? Yes, I do have some problems with the network, so can I answer now?
You're welcome.
So concerning the first one, which is learner plan their own learning program and thus ultimately assume responsibility for what they do in the classroom. Actually, I'm not quite like with it. I don't agree at like totally with it, because if we give the learners the opportunity to plan their their learning program, I guess it's like they will focus more on like making it just like for fun, not serious. And what else? I think we will not see a progress in the learning methods because they will focus only on what entertains them. So they basically need the teacher to
guide,
like
monitor.
yeah, exactly. So we should not give them the total freedom. The teacher like should be there and assess them, and also like continue with them and like have a view on their progress. So we should not give them the total freedom. This is what I think.
Yeah. Stay with me, Sarah.
Okay.
I partially agree with you, but we can give them certain freedom because we need to listen to generation.
I do see that maybe if we just like listen to them, what are their interests, and like what entertains them, so that we can like manage the curriculum to fit what they want and also what benefits them at the same time. So it should be like beneficial and entertainment at the same time.
Okay, good. What about B?
Learners monitor and evaluate their own progress. Well, I guess maybe it's like it's applicable, like it will be applicable. Learners monitor and evaluate their own progress, but I guess that the teacher has has more skills, or like more I don't know how to express it well. The teacher would work well for this
control,
like
more control, more knowledge.
Yeah, more control of
but
yeah,
nowadays,
exactly.
Sarah, nowadays things are changing because the teacher is not the only source of information. Now in the
Yes,
past,
absolutely, yes.
in the past, the teacher was the only one who gives information, the only one who knows. But nowadays, the students can have access to knowledge everywhere. So they don't have to learn only from the teacher. For example, they can learn from the teacher, they can learn from each other, they can learn from the internet. So there are a variety of ways where students can learn. It's not only some students can learn from each other better. They can listen to each other and they can see their progress. They can evaluate. So they can, like what's called self-correction or peer correction. So this is also
exactly.
can work.
Yeah, exactly, because like nowadays most of us as students, we don't like depend on the teacher to do everything. Like we learn by ourselves. But at the same time, when we are in the classroom, like the teacher has to do something. Like we can't do everything.
Of course.
So this is my point. I want just like to mention that the teacher is also like has a role Like we should not like just take into consideration what the students want, or like just like we as students do everything and like monitor ourselves, like evaluate our progress. The teacher has also to do something. This is my point.
Yeah, I can see your point, but that's the problem. What is the role of a teacher nowadays? Because
Yeah,
is your role is to talk much? Because talking doesn't mean learning. Now we can say that
learning, yes,
most
exactly.
teachers talk and control everything, but still there is no learning. So we have to adapt our role. Maybe talk less, and they can work more, practice more skills.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to do something. It doesn't mean that you come to the classroom and your role is to talk and to teach,
Yeah,
teaching. But maybe there isn't learning. Students are not listening.
so
Students are not listening. They're not
basically,
focused.
so basically, Professor, now we should like ask what is the role of a teacher? Because if we can do everything as you said, the teacher like has to do something. You said like maybe he can give instructions. He can give instructions, and students do like the rest, like learn and also work in groups, participate. The teacher should work like as just observe, like an observant. He just like watch and observe, like give instructions, like what else?
Yeah, I can see some
Just like check the students' progress. Yeah.
To me, your role as a teacher is determined by many factors. One of them is the student's age and need.
Yeah. Okay.
So if the students are children, it's not the same like if the students are adults. Your role
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah. There's a difference. Yes.
Another thing is the student's needs. What's the student needs? So that also determines your role as a teacher. And also,
yes, exactly.
students' motivation. Sometimes you can find students are working, they are motivated. So they facilitate learning for you. And some classes, you will see that students are not, they don't want to learn. So then you have to find a way to create conditions for learning. So, you know, it's a bit, you cannot apply the same thing to all classes.
To all students,
levels,
yes.
All students.
Yeah.
Because
students like, for example, children, I think when it comes to children, the teacher has like to take the most control of the class. Like maybe he has to assess like 75%, and the student has to do just like 25%, because children can't like as adults they can't choose what they want to learn and also learn by themselves, because it's hard, because they're just in the beginning of their life, so it will be hard for them to learn by themselves. So as you said, Professor, it depends on the age and also many factors.
Yeah, and also we can add behavioral problems. Some students misbehave in the classroom. So first of all, you need to create an atmosphere. You should listen, sit down and listen to you first. And sometimes you're just focusing on the behaviors of learners. So also it makes a difference.
Yeah.
What do you think about number D, Sarah? And sorry, letter D and E.
D. Learners tutor other learners. This is D. I guess when it comes as like as it is mentioned in the C, when it comes to like working in groups, maybe learners may tutor other learners. Other than that, I don't think so. And also in the higher education, as like in the like for example, as students of the UNES, I guess we can manage to do this. We can tutor other learners. But when it comes to children, I don't think so. And also the secondary and middle school, it's the same thing. So the higher education is we can apply this learners tutor other learners, other than the other eight. No, not eight. I forgot the word. This is what I think. Yeah.
But still, students like to learn from each other. Like you will have a good student, between brackets, good student or student who is an expert. You know that this student knows, and then he or she can give support to other students.
The others, yeah.
Because they are working together, they have the same age, so they know each other better. So you can try it. You can
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it can work in some contexts.
Yeah, it
But
can
let's say
work.
that
Yeah.
you know that you have a student who knows the basic English. He knows very well. So you can go to sit to make him sit with another student who struggle with English.
He can help.
So they can help
Yeah.
each other to some extent because
Yes,
they
it
listen
will
to
work.
each
Yeah.
other. They know each other better, especially they are the same age, same generation. This
Yeah,
can
exactly.
work.
They can understand each other.
Such
So
a
yeah,
way,
it does work.
context, you can do that. And also, learners should learn from teacher, learn from other students, and from other teaching
From other
sources.
teachers. Yeah.
Nowadays, you can give them some software, some applications, digital tools,
Yeah,
because they are comfortable with those sources. They will not listen to you, but maybe they will listen to some audios or visual aids or applications.
Sir, I have a question.
Work. Good
Do you think that I have a question? Do you think that the letter E will like create some sort of confusion?
E.
Yeah, like learners learn from the teacher, from other students, and from other teacher sources.
What do you mean by how can it create confusion?
For example, they will ask, should we follow the first teacher or the students or other sources?
Yeah, I can see that's the point here. Nadia is try to have a variety of sources. Do not rely only on the teacher alone. So whenever you have an opportunity, so students can learn from other sources. Like what we are doing, for example, in the academic writing, students should have research skills. So they do not rely on the professors, but they can do research by themselves. They can rely on other sources because I'm going them the skills they need to learn by themselves.
But I'm talking more. I'm talking about like children's, not as academic learners.
Yeah, but you can apply it wherever applicable in your context. Because when we teaching, we are teaching in different contexts. We are teaching children, teenagers, adults, and university students. So, but the point here is to not to rely only on the teacher, because the role of a teacher nowadays is changing. First of all, we do not have students who can listen for teachers for many hours. They get bored easily. So you have to find a way. It's like it's different from the past. Plus, we have technology. We didn't have this in the past. So we try to use a variety of sources rather than a teacher, because still in Moroccan classes, we still have only the teacher who controls everything. Is the only one who provides knowledge, nothing else. Students are not learning from each other. They are not depending on other sources. That's the point here. But we do it according to your context. Okay, if you have teenagers, or if you have digital materials, do you have a computer? Do you have the internet? Sometimes you can't do, simply because you don't have the necessary equipment to integrate technology in the classroom. In that way, you can rely on, you can refer them to some websites or applications. They can work at home, not necessarily in the classroom. Students are learning also from outside the class. This is another thing. They don't have to.
Yes, this is what do we mean by yeah. I see. Thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. So let's continue with this part, please. What about the teacher's role? Let me hear from you. What is the role of a teacher for you in today's classrooms? Some methods are totally dependent on the teacher as a source of knowledge. He is the only source of language, of knowledge, direction. Others see the teaching role as a catalyst, consultant, consultant, a guide, model for learning. All right, so that's one of the roles of a teacher. He is a source of knowledge, but he's not the only one. Or maybe somebody who can create a change, positive change in students' learning. Somebody who can guide them, or a model for them. Do you have any other role you believe that a teacher should have nowadays?
Like the teacher can be also an advisor.
Mm-hmm. An advisor or a counselor. Very good. So we have it here. A counselor, model, and so on.
Maybe he can also work as like a helper for students to clear their confusion, because sometimes students, when they, as Nadia mentioned, she talked about like having a lot of resources create some confusion to students. For example, when students have the information from different resources, they may get confused. So the teacher like may work as a helper to help them to clear that confusion, for example.
I can see your point, Sarah. That's why we should have objectives clear in your mind. So what is your objective? And then you can have different sources to reach that objective. Okay. Now, for example, let's say in our module, the student should be able to write, let's say, an academic essay. That's our objective. The students can use a variety of ways, a variety of sources, so that they can have that skill. So in this sense, we don't have any confusion because it's clear for them what is the expectation, what is expected of them. So if we can say they complement each other, indeed, the teacher's role and other sources from I mean outside the classroom, or right, it shouldn't be any confusion as long as the objectives are clear, but the activities are different, the sources are different to reach the destination.
Also responsible for students' behavior.
Mohammed, say it again because you are muted.
Yeah, I said the real teacher also, you should be responsible for students' behavior inside the classrooms.
For sure, Mohammed, especially in our situation.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time as teachers just to control the class, just to manage the behaviors in the classroom. So we really have to do something about that, either to reduce the size of the class, or we have differentiation in the classroom, different activities. We need to do something about that as well.
Yeah, it becomes more challenging for the teacher. So basically, you need to balance between teaching the course and also controlling the class at the same time. So it's very difficult and challenging.
Yes, Mohammed. That's why we said it depends on the context where you are. In some contexts, you don't have this problem, but in some contexts, you have it. So your role will be changed or adapted accordingly. So what is sure is that you need to teach students. We need to some learning. They need to learn something. Find ways and try to manage the classroom. You do what you can do to achieve the objectives. That's your purpose, is to achieve the objectives in the conditions you have. Sometimes you have technology in the classroom, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have students motivated, sometimes you don't. You know, it depends.
Exactly.
But the objective should be met in today's generation, the skills of today. Nowadays, what do students need today? And then you plan, then you have syllabus accordingly. Yes, Mohammed, but good points. Anything to add?
Also, sir, also a role of a teacher, he could be like an advisor. Not an advisor, a motivator.
Exactly, yes.
So, because most of the students need like to be motivated to give more than they can give in normal situations.
Not sure, Nidhi, I agree with you. It's really essential components is motivate your learners. Motivate them by words, by actions, by encouraging, by simplifying, by selecting the material. This is your job. If somebody asked me, Sarah, your role, yeah, you are the source of knowledge. No, not really, but you can select for them what is appropriate for them, because they cannot go online and learn everything, but you can select for them what is appropriate. That's one thing you can do. Or the classroom conditions, or helping the student who have special needs. I mean by special needs, I don't mean physical issue, but I mean in general, the student who struggle with something, language problems, social problems. You will remove the barriers, barriers of learning. You remove them so that the students can learn. This is also one of your roles. Can somebody read this? Has to do with materials. So number one was, what was number one?
Objectives.
Very good. Objectives. Number two?
Syllabus.
Number three?
Teaching activities.
Teaching activities and learning tasks. Next?
The role
of a teacher.
Of a teacher, and also the role of a learner.
Yeah.
Finally, we have what we
The
call
role of
instructional
instruction
materials. What can you say about this instructional materials from this slide?
Sir, I think that instructional materials should meet students' needs.
Okay, but how? Can you give some examples of the materials? For example, we can have, materials. We can talk about the form of material. For example, textbook.
Yeah.
Textbook is a material. You can use it in teaching. What do you think about textbook? Do you agree with, do we really need a textbook or not?
Yeah, because they help the teacher for simplify the course. For example, some students, they only understand during the textbooks or throughout the textbooks.
I'm really, Mohammed, sorry, I couldn't hear the first part. So let me highlight the word first, Mohammed. So textbook, I would like you to tell me, what do you think about textbook in general in teaching and textbook in Moroccan context? Yes, Mohammed.
So, I mean, in general, textbooks can help or can be like they can help the student, the teacher for explaining the lesson. So they can help them to simplify courses or exercises that might seem very difficult for students. For example, some students, they can understand from textbook, by the others, they can only understand through the teacher.
I can see your point, but I do not completely agree with you, because some of our textbook does not facilitate the level of difficulty. On the contrary, they find it hard. For example, in baccalaureate exam, some activities are very challenging for students, especially reading comprehension, level of vocabulary. But I can agree with you regarding to the sequencing and what is included. So the teacher know the components or what to teach. Like I know that I'm in grammar, I'm going to teach past simple, I'm going to teach this, I'm going to teach this. So I know them. In this sense, they make it easier for me as a teacher. Otherwise, I have to look for other sources myself. I need to go and look for activities and lessons. And also, it makes things clear for me and for the students. So as a teacher, I know the components, I know the content, the objectives, and the students also know. So in this sense, we have having the same document. Okay, so we follow the same document. We know the objectives. It's standard. You see, Mohammed, in this point, textbook can be helpful. But on the other hand, it can be harmful. The textbook sometimes can hinder learning. Why? Because we have one single textbook. In my classroom, I have a variety of levels, mixed abilities. So how can I use the same textbook to deal with a diverse students? I cannot do that. The only thing I can do is I can leave the textbook and have another teaching lessons and activities that suit the needs of those students, not all Moroccan students in Morocco, because they're not the same. Student in the city is not the same as students in rural areas, for example. They don't have the same situation, and you apply the same textbook. Anyway.
Professor?
Yes.
I think that I agree with you that textbooks can be helpful to a certain extent. I think that it is they are supportive only for the teacher rather than being directly oriented to the student, because they offer them a roadmap, a clear path of what they want to teach to the students. But for example, here in Morocco, in middle school or in high school, history and geography textbooks, I found it there are complicated. When you go to them, you find just maps, timelines, pictures with codes. They just encode them. There is no meaning. When you come to understand them, there is thing will get worse. You don't understand the lesson. So most of time we don't about them just because they are complex. We just depend on the teacher explanation or explanation from online resources rather than those textbooks.
Yeah, thank you, Farah. Yeah, interesting. I still remember when I was in my secondary school and we were having philosophy. The textbook was so complicated. So most students really did not understand the content. So it's not all the time the textbook can really, to me, we need to have like different textbooks, different levels. And we should listen to the students. We should interview them, their reaction, feedback on the textbook. So I'm going to interview the student and see, what do you think about the textbook? What problems? And then I can change, I can modify, because learners are the center of learning. I should listen because we are here for the students. We are here to support the learning of students. So we should listen to their needs, their reaction, and then we can not to continue doing the same thing for years, knowing that it's not really effective. For example, here we have, yes.
Can I add something?
Can I have your name?
Mariam Gani.
Yeah, Mariam, because your nickname is different. I cannot tell.
Yes,
Yes,
actually, I agree with Farah. Like textbook, it's really helpful, especially in science.
Yes, in
Like
science.
if the professor or the teacher want to explain like earthquake, we have images, we can understand. Like some students understand without images, but others feel like it's really helpful for them.
Good, interesting. Yeah, well done. Yeah, I can see your point. Very good. So the textbook should contain the point here. The textbook should contain not only the text.
Yes.
Should be attractive. More images, videos, because some students can learn from pictures rather than text. And I agree with you, it depends on the subject matter. Maybe in science and math, it's okay. But when it comes to English, maybe we need to change a little bit because we don't have, for example, softwares, websites. I'm not using technology in language. So I'm talking in particular about language teaching. Well, I can see your point. It can differ from subject to another. I'm not sure about science. I should ask the teachers of science and math. about the textbook. Maybe it's okay for them, but I can only comment on language now, which I see it lacks a lot of digital materials, more textual, more text, more words. I can see more text. But that's a good point that you have mentioned. Or audiovisual, group work, and so on.
Yeah, Professor, we can consider that textbook also they match the need of curriculum of the government rather than the students' needs. For example, when you give us example by the book Gateway to English, you mention a title that traveling. So many students are not, or most of the students are not interested in traveling. So this is why textbooks are matching the need of curriculum rather than the need of students.
I can see your point. Yeah, good. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So we need to change those topics, maybe related to nowadays student needs, like successful in the workplace, for example, like
technology.
Technology, yeah. So yeah, because travel is more common. It's more common language. It's not really specified when it comes to the student needs exactly. Yeah, I can see your point. Yeah. But again, it's what's the student need after graduation. So when these students pass their baccalaureate exam, so what's the expectation? They may go to study abroad, or they may go to the university, or so I need to investigate that. Or you can have different textbook according to the different needs.
Yeah.
Students who are going to travel abroad, let's have syllabus. The student who depends on needs of the student. We'll find some common. Sometimes you can have some common needs or common interests, and then we put them together, rather than teach everything to everyone at the same time. It doesn't suit all. It's a good point, Mohammed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything to add? Because we are close to end the meeting of today. Can you see this diagram which summarizes everything? I would like somebody to comment on this.
It's not clear, actually. The writing is very small.
But you can see this one in the page, Nisreen. Nisreen, can you hear me?
Yes, Professor.
You will find it at the very end of the chapter. I'm going to tell you that because it summarizes
33.
33. Thank you, Shakir. Have a look at 33. You will find this diagram which summarizes what we have seen today regarding a method, an approach, design, and procedure. Maybe just you can highlight on this. Page 33. If you have any question, please let me know from the chapter. Okay, to sum up, it's clear for everyone? So here we have an approach, design, and procedure. So procedure means classroom techniques and behaviors. What you do in the classroom, strategies, tactics, and so on. I think it's clear. This summarizes all.
It is.
Nisreen.
Yes, Professor.
Because we need to conclude today's class.
Yes.
I just would like to highlight some key terms mentioned in the chapter related to teaching and language teaching. Can you write them on the chat? I'm going to tell you those words.
Sure.
You find them here.
Okay.
So, The first one is this. You will find it here. Notional functional approach. Can you see it on the slide? Nisreen, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I can see it.
Can you write it on the chat for everybody?
I did.
That's the first one. Number 2, realia. Realia.
Realia.
Yes, I think you like as it's written. I did write it for you, Nisreen. Can you see it?
Yes, Professor.
Good. So those terms can be found in the chapter. We need to know them because you will you need to be familiar with those teaching terms, if you like. Number 3, a task. What is a task? What is a task? Okay, Nisreen, which number is this? You put them in numbers.
The third one.
Third one. Now the fourth one is syllabus. Syllabus. Did you write it?
Not yet. I'm writing it now.
Right. Thank you. Did you write it? Let me know if you write it, please.
Yes.
Nisreen.
Yes, I did.
Just some saying if you can have something else.
Maybe design.
Design, it would be too broad. Maybe I'm gonna talk about this one. The sequence of units. The sequence of units. Sequence of units. Related to, teaching language. Sequence of units. The last one, Nisreen.
What is it?
Language is habits.
Okay.
Language is habit. So your answer is based on what we have done today and our talk today related to teaching method, language, or in general, because it's not only about language, it's about teaching in general, but we focus more on language simply because we are English language teachers. So let's repeat them. Can you repeat them? I'm gonna write them on the separate slide.
Yeah, sure. Notional functional approach.
Sorry, Nisreen.
Notional functional approach.
Can you see it? That's the first one, right?
Yes.
That's the first one. Number 2.
Second one is realia. The third one is a task. The fourth one is syllabus.
Yeah, syllabus, yeah. Exactly.
The next one is sequence of units.
Finally,
the last one is language is habit.
Right. So what is the question, please, Yasmin? Nisreen? Yasmin. Yasmin, Yasmin left? Language is habit.
No, I'm
Yes.
still
Okay.
here.
All right.
Should I form a question related to these?
Yes. So we can say discuss
the notional
discuss these terms.
Oh.
Okay, in relation to the lecture
we've had.
Okay, or the lecture of today. To put it simply. باش ما نتقلش عليكم بزاف ياك ولا ديجا تقلت عليكم.
Not really.
ما عطيتكم شي هذه الحريه. انا اللي بقيت اللي كملت من الاول لاخر. اوكي يلا نعطيكم شي هذه time. Maybe the last part. Discuss these terms in relation to the lecture of today, which means method, right? Teaching method and approaches. Yeah, you have 5 minutes. So don't go to on the internet or don't go online and copy and paste those terms. But I would like you to understand them and apply them in classroom in Morocco, in context. That's the purpose of this exercise. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes. Whenever you have something to say, just say it.
Sir,
Yes, please.
can I go for Realia?
Can I have your name, Shakir? No? Shakir?
Yes, she is.
Yes, Wafa.
For Realia, I think it is related to the rule of instructional materials. It can be used as an instructional material. For example, if a teacher wants to teach their students new vocabulary or new words, they can use Realia as a material. They can bring real materials, real objects to the classroom and teach them. For example, a model of an elephant and tell them that this is an elephant or
Yes, good.
something.
Yeah. It can work with the vocabulary, teaching. You bring things to the classroom for teaching purposes. Realia. Okay, good. That is done. Next.
Sir, can I answer the number 6 language is habits?
Yes, طيب.
So the idea that language is habits means we learn a language by repeating patterns until they become automatic, just like forming habits in daily life. Additionally, instead of only studying rules, learners practice using the language regularly, so it becomes natural.
Good. What do you think about this?
And for example, sir, if students practice saying "How are you" every day, it becomes a habit, and they can use it easily in real conversations without thinking about grammar.
Good. What about errors? Correction.
Could you please elaborate, sir?
Errors, because you talked about language as a habit. Language as a habit. So where can we relate it to this? What about errors? If student makes an error, how do you deal with him or her based on this statement, language is a habit? What do you think? Do you accept, do you tolerate errors or no?
Okay.
Sir, can I answer?
And yes, of course. And just to clarify more, Tayyib, and you can relate this to audiolingual method and communicative language method. So you talk about this in relation to these two methods. One, audiolingual method. Two, communicative language teaching method. The place of errors, because errors are there. When you teach a language, there are errors. You know errors, mistakes, errors. So how as a teacher, how would you deal with errors in both methods? That's my question. Someone want to say something? This is an
Yeah,
open
Professor,
discussion.
can I answer this question?
Yeah, Shakir and then Mohammed.
Yeah.
For errors in language is related to language is a habit. They are corrected immediately, because if the learner repeating certain errors, they become also a habit. So they are corrected immediately if they are performed.
Which method is this?
Audiolingualism.
What about communicative? How would you deal with errors in communicative language teaching?
I think for the communicative language teaching, they are corrected after the learning is complete. For example, our learner is speaking whenever he finishes or she finishes its speech or conversation, we correct them.
Yeah, good. In other words, in communicative language teaching, errors are part of learning. So the students can make errors. It's okay. You can make errors and learn from them. You can learn from them. So sorry, Farah, I cannot hear you. On the other hand, in audiolingual method, you never tolerate an error because you focus more on accuracy. You want student to produce an accurate sentence without any errors. That's why you stop with the student immediately. No, you shouldn't say that. You should. So in other words, errors are prevented in audiolingual method all the time because you want to establish a habit. A habit, they have to say this and this and this. But in reality, we make errors. Even the child, when he learns his or her first language, he makes errors. That's very normal process in language learning. But audiolingual method does not tolerate errors. Still today, we have some teachers who never tolerate errors. Never. Because they want to focus on accuracy. Yes, Farah? The Baghi. I think you wanted to say something, if you aren't there.
Yes, can I answer number one, notional functional approach?
Good, Farah. You can talk about number one. Yes.
Yes, it is one of the most earliest model that's used in communicative language teaching, and was proposed by
Farah, I'm really sorry. I cannot. Your voice is not really clear. I cannot hear you well.
That's right. Yes, I said that the notional functional approach is one of the most earliest models that's used in communicative language teaching and was proposed by Wilkins. This approach focuses on teaching language through communicative function. For example, requesting, requesting or describing and expressing meaning. And it breaks them down into notion, mean the concept that will be talked about, like time, frequency, movement, and functional, that mean the communication purposes like describing, requesting, or agreeing.
Good.
So this encourages teaching language in real context, so learners know how to use it in actual communication, I mean developing their communicative competence.
Okay, good. Now, what about notion and function? Notion and function, are they the same thing or different?
No, they are different. Notion mean the semantic grammatical concept as stated in the booklet, which mean time, frequency, movement. But the function mean the communication purposes, the way we use the language. Is it for describing or for requesting, for asking for help, or express agreeing or disagreeing?
Good, yeah, well done, yeah. This is very important nowadays. We talk about notional functional approach. Okay, Farah, well done. Good answer.
Professor, can I answer about syllabus?
Mohammed?
Yeah. So basically, a syllabus is like an outline or a plan of what will be taught during the class in a language course. It shows the topics, the skills, and the language point.
Sorry to interrupt you. Is it your, this is your word, or you are building you're basing your answers on other source? Just to clarify this.
Actually, it's based on what we are being to discuss. I'm going to mention something that you already mentioned.
Okay.
Syllables are actually arranged in, as you mentioned, in a sequence arrangements. So we have from difficult to simple. So teachers here at this point, syllables help them, and to also start what is difficult, start from simple to difficult, in order not to confuse the students and make them able to interact more with the teacher.
I'm so really sorry to interrupt you. I prefer that you base your answers on research, because this is terminology. So I would suggest you go to a source or research, find a definition, and then because you will learn from this particular assignment, and then you will comment on that based on the lecture of today and your understanding and observation. Okay, that's the best way, because this is a term already defined by some scholars in the field. After you choose one definition or two or three, then you have the space to express yourself, understanding, reaction, critiquing, based on what's done in our classroom. That's the best way to do it.
Exactly.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I go for number 5?
Yes, Farah.
I think that sequence of units is more related to structuralist.
Okay.
How? That views language as a structural system composed of interconnected elements that encode meaning, and the word sequence of units mean that each level leading us to another. For example, phonology leading us to morphology, and morphology leading us to syntax.
So do you think it's restricted to audiolingual method, or a structural view of language? It can't be applied to other methods. So we can research, try to build your answer also, base your answers on other sources. What do you think? Is it restricted to, because also I can have functions as sequence. I'm gonna teach students how to ask, then how to apologize. So here we don't have grammatical, we don't have structure, we have functions, but still we have sequence. So I would like you to tell me if it is restricted to grammar, structure, or it can be applied to other methods. I agree with you when it comes to structural view, it has to do with language, the structure of language, vocabulary, tenses, grammatical structures. I agree with you. But also it can apply to meaning and functions. Right? So it can be applied to both Farah. Functions.
In what sense, please?
Meaning, for example, let's say functions. So let's say I'm going to design a textbook. This is a textbook. This is a textbook. If you look at the content, sometimes what do you have? You have here, Farah, are you with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Here we have grammar. Let me admit someone, Ikram. Okay, Farah, we have grammar and we have sequencing. The unit 1, simple past. Okay. Look at how the way they put the content. Unit 1.
Order.
Yeah, in order, this order. So unit 1, simple past. This is unit 1. Unit 2, past simple versus past continuous. So first of all, students should know this grammatical point. then
Move
they
to
have to do past continuous in this order. This is grammar. Also, we have something called interpersonal, yani communication. In communication parts, first of all, express beliefs, talk about cultural heritage, then ask for advice, then express feeling, talk about celebrations. Okay, so this is also sequencing, but it's not to do with language, but also to do with communication competency or communication skills. And in every unit, students should have vocabulary so that they can talk about that particular point. And they should have grammar to express this particular, you see? So sequencing is not at the level of grammar only, but also at the level of meaning, if you like, and functions. But why do we have this one first, and then this, and then this, and this? Is there any rationale behind this organization? All right, Farah, thank you. Good point indeed.
Thank you.
Welcome, Farah. So done, or we still have something? Syllabus. I think we've done everything. We still have one more, a task, and then we will call it a day. Who hasn't spoken so far? الغانمي أيوب. بقشيش فدوى. بعزيز نورا. أيتعبو هاجر. عداني خولة. أبجاو سارة. You left. Yasmin Hafidi. Still with me? الزعري أسامة. إمجاد فاطمة. Okay.
Mister.
صفاء الصديقي, yes.
Yes. As you said, a task is an activity where students use language to complete a goal or solve a problem. You mentioned at the beginning of the session the example of planning a trip. For example, students communicate together to plan a trip, interact with others. It focuses mainly on using language for communication.
All right, yeah, very good. Yes, yes. Then I think we are going to stop here for today. Let me know if you have any questions, any final thoughts before leaving the meeting of today. I'm going to see you tomorrow morning, and I think it's I think it's very good, or it's an interesting opportunity to have online classes, because this is one of the important skills for you as well, because you may have an interview online, you may have an opportunity to teach abroad, you may teach online. So it's one of the, I believe it's one of the important digital skills we need to develop. So we are learning, I learn and you are learning as well when it comes to talking digitally. You know, so it's good we mixed indeed face-to-face classes with online classes. It will be an opportunity for all of us, and also sometimes we don't have to move to the classroom, to the physical classroom to learn. Learning can have, you know, different ways we can learn differently. So do you have any questions, anything to say before we say goodbye? Mohammed, Noor, any final thoughts before saying goodbye?
No, Professor, no. Everything is clear.
Okay, good. Then thank you so much for your participation. I think it was It was a great lesson. I enjoyed.
Thank you, sir. It was
Thank
it
you
was
so
a good
much,
session.
Professor.
Actually.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Professor.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the
Yes.
rest of the day, and I hope to see you tomorrow, the same time.
Same.
Yes.
Same or at morning.
I will keep the same timing. What do you think?
Okay. For me, it's okay.
Because if we change, then we'll create some kind of confusion. That's why I prefer to keep the same time and date. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, teacher.
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
Professor.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Good job. Take care and bye-bye. See you, all of you.
Bye. See
Thank
you.
you, sir. Good iftar.
You're welcome. See you, all of you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.